You're watching the 2024 Minor League Cricket Championship presented by Yash Technologies. Well, hello there. Thanks for stopping by in this 2024 Minor League Cricket Championships presented by Sunoco. We are here at the beautiful Church Street Park in Mooresville, North Carolina. I'm Patel. I'm joined by Nate Hayes. And Nate, we have an exciting day of cricket upon us.
Another beautiful day here.
Another beautiful day here at Church Street Park. Something we've gotten spoiled by this weekend. We haven't really had any threat of rain or anything. And it's getting comfortable this time of year here in North Carolina.
Yeah, absolutely lovely day. And I had a quick look at the middle. It's the same strip. Let's take a look at what happened. Beautiful day at Church Street Park. It's a wonderful Sunday. Clear skies around, sun's out, and a little breeze keeping us cool. But while the conditions may be perfect, let's take a look at this wicket. It's the third time we're using this particular surface this weekend. And I just want to get you to notice, it's still very, very hard. You heard the sound yesterday, but since we heard it yesterday, we'll hear it again. Again, nice and hard, good bounce on offer, plenty of grass around, still a couple of green patches. But for me, what I'm looking for on this wicket is that there was turn yesterday. And with that turn, the bowlers are going to have something to play for. So for me, runs will be on the board. I think there'll be a little bit of swing, but I think the spinners will get into the action today. Well, Nate, that surface looks very good, and I think Adam Kahn's going to have something to say on that type of a wicket, and we'll get to see who we get to see out first. Is it going to be the Lions? Is it going to be the Royals? We'll have to take a quick look at that. A little bit ago, I had a quick look at the toss. Let's take a look at what happened. Hello and welcome to the coin toss. We're out in the middle on this beautiful Sunday. It's match number 3 at Church Street Park, and we've got the two captains alongside me, Chanderpaul, Sarad Lumba, and then the third umpire, and the mayor of Mooresville's in town, TJ Cawley. Well, we have the coin going to our home team captain today, Tajrine.
This is heads, this is tails. So you want to spin the coin and you're going to... that is heads.
So they're discussing what's heads and tails, and he's ready to give it a flip.
Heads.
Maybe the highest flip we've seen so far.
Heads it is.
And it is a head. So the Baltimore Royals have won the toss. Sharad, you're going to come here for me. You've won the toss. What have you elected to do?
We would like to bat first.
Why you made that decision here today?
I think we just need to score big runs today, and we need to push the pressure on the other team here.
We've seen a couple of injuries. Obviously, Ravinder Singh's not going to be playing today. Any changes in the 11?
Yes, so we have 3 changes. Ravinder is and Lada is injured, so Kuberjeet and Neil is coming from that place, and Aryan is not playing. For Aryan, he is playing.
Beautiful. Thank you. Good luck today, sir. Tajrine, first time you didn't win the toss today, but had you have won it, what would you like to have done?
Probably bat again. Wicket was good. Just that we didn't get enough yesterday.
You know, you've played back-to-back, now third straight. What's, kind of the message to your team as you look to get them, kind of ready to go on Game 3?
Just try and continue on a good start and post a good score on the board. And the extras and probably the feeling killing us a bit. So.
Any changes in your 11 today?
Yeah, we got Ryan Pasadian and... Who is it? Quick check. Ryan Pasadian, Brown, and Browning. Yeah.
There you go. Well, good luck today, sir. Well, you had it there from the middle. The Baltimore Orioles, they've won the toss, and they've elected to have a bat. Well, there you go. You heard it there first. The Royals, they're going to have a bat, and they're going to start with a different opening pair. Obis Panar is still there on this windy morning, but it's going to be Gunwarjeet Singh, his partner, opening the batting. Gunwarjeet did open with Jaskar Malhotra in Game 1. And Nate, we're going to see Clinton Pestana with the ball yet again. Starts short. It's in the air. And first ball, Obis Panar has picked out the man stationed at fine leg. What a start for the Fort Lauderdale Lions.
That's an excellent start for the Lions. They needed to create wickets today. The Royals did a good job of it yesterday. The Lions needed to turn it on a bit. What a tremendous start. Very first ball. We know the Royals batting is not as deep as it usually is because of injuries. So this is a humongous wicket.
Panar can't quite believe what he's just done. He was so effective yesterday, scored 88 in a match-winning innings, and Panar just has to walk back. First ball gone for Panar, and first wicket for the Lions. Starts short. It's in the air. And first ball. Obis Pinar has picked out the man stationed. Well, Nate, you were preparing a little something about the keys for the Fort Lauderdale Lions. Well, it seems like they've got one of them there. Obis Pinar gone.
Yeah, that was humongous. They need to take wickets early. They need to create chances, get deep into the Royals batting team. I didn't think they were aggressive enough yesterday, not going after Sharma when he had that injury to his left arm, not making him play straight shots. I feel like they need that killer instinct. They didn't seem to realize they were one wicket away from being out of a lot of trouble.
Well, we have the captain for the Royals today, no Ravinder Singh. So, I mean, Sharad Lumba is the standing captain, and this is a growing concern for the Royals. They're without Ravinder Singh today, no Sarbjit Ladda as well. They've already lost Jaskar Malhotra, Mohammad Mohsin gone to the CPL. These things are starting to pile up now.
Yeah, one thing leads to another. We're only 2 weeks into the league, too. We're only 2 weekends in. There's a lot of games these first couple weekends for this Fort Lauderdale, for this Royals team.
Pastano, we questioned his ability yesterday in terms of he was touched short for our liking. The short ball works straight up. What does he have for Lumba? How about this? A little bit fuller on length, a little bit of nip back in as well. Pastano, he's started off really, really hot.
A little bit warmer today. This is the middle of the day here. The sun is directly over the square. What do you think that's doing to the wicket right now? You think it was a good decision to bat first?
Yeah, I think in the afternoon it's always a good decision to bat first here at Church Street Park, especially on a day like today where you've played the 2 games beforehand. You'll have another innings on it. I think it's going to get tougher to bat on. The cracks will start to open. It didn't seem like the wicket was very moist. It was pretty dry, and with that sun, I think it's only going to open up. Swing on offer. You can see it there from Pastano extracting whatever's left on this surface.
Tremendous swing there. Great stuff. And you mentioned earlier questioning his ability to hit that short ball, get the right distance against the right batter, get the right length against the right batter. I think it's maybe a little bit easier to find a shorter ball when you're not facing a guy like Obis Pinar, but this batter sure is class.
And I think that wicket of Obis Pinar just opens things up really, because he was the main cog, made things look really easy yesterday. This one will start down the leg side. That wicket of Obis Pinar frees up other bowlers. I was talking to Adam Khan, and he's like, man, I don't know what I did wrong to Obis yesterday. He's like, I watched the clips. He said, I watched the highlights yesterday, and the one ball where he came back and pulled me, I watched. He said, it wasn't even short. I just slightly pulled it back, and he was able to turn it. So now it gives you an ability for your other bowlers to kind of get in and be more aggressive in wicket taking.
Well, he did an excellent job yesterday, Obis did, of turning things into short balls.
This one is just crashed onto the legs of Lumba. This is a brilliant first over. Just the 1 run courtesy of an extra. And I think it's hit Lumba really high up on the leg. Gonna hope he's okay.
Well, I think that hit him in the middle of the legs, unfortunately.
So we get some water out for him. But Nate, we mentioned the keys for the Fort Lauderdale Lions, and you know, with the ball in hand, they seem to have figured it out, that big wicket early. What about with the bat for Fort Lauderdale? What are your keys for them?
Well, Chanderpaul has to. We've seen a couple of innings from him not come through, and that's unusual. He's one of the best batters in the entire region, really. I think he's going to need to take responsibility a little bit. He got run out yesterday. That's a big no-no. If you're the captain, if you're a player of his quality, don't let people get you out. Apart from you getting out with the bat.
Yeah, make him earn it. Absolutely. And so it'll start at the top there. For the Baltimore Royals, really one of my keys was going to be Obis Pinar. He provides so much for them, really eases things in terms of that other, the other partners, because he's able to really create advantageous positions to bat. And I think with the bat now, you look at this team, I think Neil Navrekar is a really interesting question, because Navrekar had a good 2023, was consistently in the 11, was opening the batting, or at least coming at the 1-down spot. He's now back into this team. He dwells a little with a spin as well, and I think the Royals are going to need some more runs than maybe they did yesterday, because of the fact that you don't have Sarbjit Ladda. You don't have someone who is going to take wickets at that consistent interval.
Yeah, we were talking yesterday about this team, about how good this Royals team is, that we didn't see Narvacar earlier in this team. That's how solid they are, because he's definitely a quality player. He's going to need to contribute today. It looks like maybe we've shaken off the, gotten through that pain. That had to be immense.
Yeah, Pistano Bowl is a really hard ball, and again, it just got right up into that midsection of Lumba. Hope he's okay, and it seems like he'll be able to bat on, and the Royals will need him to bat on here today. Couple changes for both sides. New man with the gloves, kind of your mainstay for the Fort Lauderdale Lions. No Mario Rampersad. They've instead gone to Achilles Brown, and most people wouldn't know that Achilles Brown isn't a bowler by trade. He's a batter, and he keeps wicket, but he's able to provide a lot with the ball in minor league cricket, and he's developed that skill. Today, he's got the gloves on. And no runs off the bat so far for Pistano.
Yeah, Achilles Brown, a little bit of a jack of all trades. If you go to his Instagram account, you'll see that he does as I mentioned before, he plays in England, so he keeps sometimes in England. But yeah, it's nice to have the ability to do a little bit of everything. You know, it's difficult to find the time to be that good at everything, but somehow Achilles Brown has found the time.
Yeah, it just gives your captain more options too, gives your squad a little bit more to go with. This will be runs as a flashing blade, a little bit edgy, but it gets over the rope. It'll be 4 runs.
Well played there. Got the breeze blowing towards us in the north. And early in the power play, you're going to see the ball a little bit shorter. That was not missed right there. Yep, we've had some. Here we go. Let's take a look here. Yeah, he didn't miss that. Very well played, just far enough away from his eyes that he could see that perfectly.
That'll be in the first over. It's 5 for 1.
Even the best in the business needs a strategic partner to help them win. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
New bowler in is Vinit Tagarse opening yet again. Yesterday struggled with the left-hander. Felt like he wasn't able to control his swing. His wrist position would get him to move it away, but things kept angling back in as he went around the stumps yesterday. Today he's over, but before we get to Vinit, Nate, it looks like Sharad Lumba is really struggling over there, still down on the ground, and he's asking for more medical attention. Again, this is really something to watch.
Oof. Yeah, he is definitely in a lot of pain. He was on all fours there for a moment. Let's hope he can shake this off somehow and it's not serious. That is not a fun place to get hit, let me tell you. Bad things can happen.
And for the Baltimore Royals as well, they just don't have really the extra men to do this. You know, you talk about him going out of this team if he's unable to continue with the bat in hand, and this batting lineup just will continue to get smaller. You'd still have Neo Navrekar, Ronak Sharma, of course, but then you go to Daron Davis. Ahad Malik will be able a primary bat, but then you go into Daron Davis and you go in to Zaid Alam, and you really are starting to search for batting options in the form of Jaskran Buttar and company.
Yeah, this is something that the Royals can't afford to lose right now. We've talked about how good their bowling is. And we talked about how the batting conditions will deteriorate a little bit. You still need to have a decent total on the board against a team as good as Fort Lauderdale, especially if you make it easy on Chanderpaul. He's gonna accept it. He's gonna take it.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, it's without Ludda that this Baltimore Royals team is. And again, he was the guy that was able to create a lot of pressure and wickets start to fall around him and in his overs. And without him today, you're really looking at Daron Davis, who was taken for some runs. You're looking at maybe Obis Pinar having to step up with the ball today. It puts more pressure on your pace bowlers to be wicket takers. This could be a day where the Royals are really going to need those big blows with the bat. Losing Obis early and then their captain now struggling, it's just worrisome signs.
Yeah, this is not good at all. And we see Tagarse ready to go, getting himself You know, you haven't bowled a ball yet in the game. You have a long delay like this, ball in hand. You're a fast bowler. What would this feel like for you?
Yeah, you're just trying to keep yourself warm, right? You're in a headspace that you're wanting to come in, run in, and bowl. And I think for Garce, he's keen to start bowling because of the fact that he wasn't great yesterday, right? As a fast bowler, you're almost like a cornerback in the NFL. You have to have a short memory. You have to be able to put the bad games away from you and just move on to the next ball. And so you can see Garce's taking his run up 3 or 4 times. I would be a little bit different. I'd be more of a, all right, I check my run up once and I'm just kind of on my spot, ready to go, waiting for the batter to kind of meet me. But I think it's a little bit of nerves for Garce as he continues to find that run up. He's trying to find rhythm before he starts bowling because he has to start to the left-hander.
Well, a lot of Fort Lauderdale fans were curious why he was left out of the team on the first day of the weekend. But this is a three games in 3 days weekend for this team.
Right.
And fast bowlers don't usually play 3 straight days in a row if you can help it.
Yeah, that's why Pestano is so impressive. He's still coming in, bowling a hard, heavy ball on a hard length. You know, so that's always impressive on that 3rd day. There's a lot of pressure that goes in, and so the warm-up has got to be key and things like that. But, you know, I look at Garce, this is a real key over, and Lumba is still struggling. He's walking off right now. And good to see him on his feet, but he seems to be coming off. And I think they're going to be without their captain. I think he'll be able to come back because be able to bat in this power play. That's a big miss.
Yeah, this is really difficult. Let's see who comes in now.
Again, a very delayed start to the 2nd over, and yeah, you can see the new batter coming in. Sharad Lumba is in a great deal of pain. He's a big character. He's someone who's a fighter. He wouldn't have just walked off if it really wasn't a problem. And so new man coming in for the Baltimore Royals.
It's tough to tell from here at this moment with the sun. But I would imagine it would be Malik, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you reckon Malik could be the man that comes in? I don't think Neo Navarrete would be a bad shout either. So you have a couple of options here if you're the Baltimore Royals. And it looks like it is going to be Neo Navarrete coming in with bat in hand. First match of the season for him. He's kind of on a subdued role. Oh, sorry, it's going to be Ronak Shut-em-up, rather, with the bat in hand. And again, for him, Ronak Shut-em-up had a decent innings yesterday, did get flashed on the elbow, but was able to hold himself together, and he's played a match-winning inning so far in minor league cricket, and keeping that righty-lefty combination. So how does Garce start with the left-hander? Starts how he finished yesterday, struggling with the line. Again, you saw him get big movements away from the left-hander, but the odd one would just keep on with the arm and stay straight.
Good job there by Achilles stopping that ball athletically. We saw Mario Rampersad out of the team. Now his bat was crucial yesterday in navigating those leg spin overs from Baltimore. He did have that one drop, but always good to get your youth in the game when you can.
Better in line there. You can see he took a little bit of pace off to just kind of control the swing. And again, this is a sign of a fast bowler struggling with the confidence right now. You can see yesterday did play a factor in him. It's not his usual pace, and as a bowler, you don't want to have to change what you do to control the ball. You want to be able to run in, not worry about the wides, and just bowl your stock deliveries. Use of the feet.
Ooh,
well
great.
Stopped in the field. This is something that we've talked about for the Fort Lauderdale Lions. It's something that was talked about at the toss. A couple mistakes in the field really have cost the Lions big so far this weekend. Things like this can be really helpful.
Yeah, you're going to need to do the little things, the fundamentals. You got to get those right here against a team as good as Baltimore. And right now you got them on the ropes. You want to keep them there.
With no fielder's going to stop that one inside the ring at least. There'll just be one out on the deep to sweeper cover. You have to feel fortunate for Garce. Not the length he wants to bowl. Does have that sweeper, but going to feel like you missed out if you're Gurunjit Singh.
And this brings in Ronak Sharma, who you mentioned. He had a tough innings is a good way to describe it yesterday. He got hit, struck pretty hard in the left arm. I saw him afterwards icing it. I talked to him. He said all he wanted was short balls after that, and he actually got mostly his wish. Surprisingly, I thought Fort Lauderdale needed a little bit more killer instinct. Make him play off that top hand.
Well, we'll get to see a look at this elbow earlier. Tagarse is going to pitch it up and try to swing it.
Ooh.
And just outside.
Just.
And again, this is a bowler who's struggling for every little thing. When things aren't going your way, they just seem to continue in that fashion, and you just hope the umpire is giving you the benefit of the doubt that time not to be.
Yeah, as we mentioned this weekend a couple of times, every umpire is going to have their own view of what that wide line actually is.
Big swing down the leg side. Again, something that we saw Tagarse struggle with was this. We mentioned he would have a couple that would stay straight with the arm, and then the odd one that would just angle down in a big way. And the positive sign for me, Nate, is you're swinging the ball. You just have to be able to control it.
Yeah, I think, like you said, it's great to see him swinging the ball like that. You have to get control of it. Tagarse yesterday, when he did kind of swing it arm side like that, he was quite effective when he didn't miss his spots, and he's missed his spots here a couple of times.
He's missed it again, and again you can see the swing is on offer. He's just got to find a way to keep this even more past the off stump. It's a difficult angle to deal with too as a batter because of the fact that you are almost closing off your bat. Kind of the big no-no when playing swing bowling is you don't want to close the bat, keep a full face, but with this much swing, batters are going to look towards mid-wicket. If Tagarse can find the line, he'll be dangerous. And this is cruelty at its finest. You can't blame Tagarse here for what he tried to do. He said, okay, everything's moving back in. I'm going to push this one even wider. And this time, it stays straight on with the arm.
And the tough start to 2024 continues for Tagarse, who was terrific last year for this team. Second in the team with wickets. I think he took 13 last season. He took 2 in a couple of spot appearances.
He got a fifer against the Atlanta Lightning down at the Buttonview Sports Complex.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's getting a word from his captain, Thajnaran Chanderpaul, and you don't want to say this now, but it is the solution for Tagarse just to get out of the over. Does he hold it cross seam and try to negate the swing that way? Again, it's very defensive bowling, but sometimes you just got to cut the bleeding, cut your losses, and keep going. On the pads, no shot offered, given. It's hit him outside, but he hasn't offered a shot. This is what swing can do, and Ronak Sharma has to go.
Whoa. That's how you fight back from a few wides. How often do we see this in cricket? Wide, when someone has a lot of swing. And let's see where that strikes. Oh,
it's hit him on the back pad, it looked like, Nate.
Yeah,
that's the interesting question for me. The swing was there. There's no shot played, but the umpire, he's got the best view, and he's giving him out. Ronak Sharma goes off his first delivery after all of that. And there you go. Gone on his first delivery. It's 11 for 2. Let's take a second look at this LBW here. Again, the interesting thing for me is that back leg. You can see he's come all the way across his stumps. It's hit him on the back leg. He's moved it late, so it's not that far outside is what he's mentioning. It's hit him more where his bat is, maybe just inside. It's a close call there. There's a lot of swing. For me, I reckon on the front foot would have been closer, but nonetheless, it's given. Nate, what are your thoughts?
Well, on the second look, I don't think it was too high.
Yeah.
But it looked like it might have potentially hit him outside of outside of the line there.
Yeah, but even if it's outside the line, no
Right,
shot was
that's
offered.
true.
So it doesn't matter because it is on the offside. So it's really just about, does it go on to hit stumps?
You're right, exactly. And I think as far as height, I think he had it there in terms of height. So it was just a question of whether it misses.
Well, umpire Bhaskar says it's going to hit as Ahad Malik comes in. And the Royals in a very different position as to usual. 2 wickets down through 2 overs. And that one's missed. The Garces found it. He's now running in with way more confidence. That wicket just can stem a fast bowler and push him in to some really nice bowling.
Oh, yeah. As I said before, we see this a lot. You know, in our local league, we know a couple of guys with loads of swing. Three wides in a row, and then boom, wicket.
Yes, you just kind of lull the batters to sleep almost. You're not expecting it to come back to you. Beat the outside edge again. This is tight. This is the bowling that Vinant Garce did in 2023, and he's proved to be dangerous here in 2024. Gone 11 for 2.
It's an impossible shot.
Sometimes creativity and innovation are all it takes to achieve the impossible. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
Continuing, Pestano starts nicely. Again, you can see there's movement on offer here. There's grass on this surface. There's swing involved. There's good pace. There's good bounce. And the Lions have gotten off to that hot start Nate Hayes was talking about. You needed wickets in the power play. They haven't gotten them through the first 2 days, and today they've got 2. It's been a struggle, these wickets early on, but right now, getting them with these. In the air, but over the top. It'll run away towards the boundary. A convincing boundary here for Kunwarjit Singh.
Just makes it look easy there. You said it's been a struggle, and you said it just as you said that, he made it look easy.
The reverse commentator's curse, I like to say.
Well, the real struggle is me with this umbrella over here, but nice shot there. Beautiful. Looks like he could do that 100 times out of 100.
In the air again, away from the fielders again. It'll run away for 4. And Kunwarjit Singh, he's liked it pitched up, and he's taking advantage.
That is 8 in 2 balls. We just praised Pestano for his last over. But it looks like Baltimore's found the antidote here with the left-hander.
And just a bit pitched up and now making things look easy. You know what's not easy? What Nate Hayes is doing right now. You can see him there. He has the umbrella in his hand, and he's trying to cover up his laptop, be able to see his notes, the amount of notes that he has on there, and all the stats that you get. So Nate, he's multitasking and making things happen at Church Street Park.
See, with your skin tone, that's what you think this is about, right? This is about me not getting burned to a crisp.
This time the Yorker comes out. Kunwarjit does well, and you know, Kunwarjit Singh, he's been out of the team for a while, Nate, and you know, he's trying to cement his place back in, even with the injuries. That's why he's been brought back, but you know, he's shown the ability to score some runs now.
Absolutely. 9 balls. You'll take 9 balls off of 3 every day of the week in every situation.
And for Pestano, I don't know if he needed to change the angle. I think it was just more the length needed to be pulled back.
Ooh,
well down the leg side. And for me, I think you make it easy on the left-hander here coming around the wicket as a right-handed bowler. Brian Walters, you know, bats left-hander, and he's talked to me about it. And he said he would much rather see a right-handed bowler coming over the wicket, knowing everything's coming towards him, angling in, than a right-handed bowler bowling over the wicket to now he has to worry about his pads and his stumps.
Yeah, well, that's true. I think the same is true reverse for right-handed batters. At least I can say so. But what a great stop by Achilles on that last one.
And see, that length, I think, from over the stumps is still going to be effective, and I think lead to more wickets. I think this is more of aggressive option to be over the stumps for Pestana.
Yeah, I think you're right. As you said, as we've mentioned many times this weekend, his strength seems to be at the good length, behind good length, back of length a little bit. Seems to be a big strength for him.
Has deep fine, so trying to entice that pull shot. A little extra bounce. It'll trickle down to that area as the third over comes to the end, and the Baltimore Royals with a couple of punches as they try to counter-attack. It's 22 for 2.
Even the best in the business needs a strategic partner to help them win. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
DeGarce in for his second over. Remember, took that wicket off a swinging delivery, so he's got a fly slip. The extras are back for DeGarce.
And Achilles Brown back there, he's been active.
Had to be, huh?
We talked a lot about Mario Rampersad back behind the stumps and his ability to get to the ball, his ability to move his feet quickly. How about the length here from Achilles Brown?
Yes, big tall man, he's got long reach. This one has just evaded the stumps there, it was full and swinging back in, and you know, for Vinit DeGarce, it's now about finding that consistency in his bowling. He's found it with the right-handers, moving it back into them, but with the lefties, he's got one or two to swing back towards them and one or two to swing away, and it doesn't seem intentional either way that he's moving it.
He's definitely had a problem with the wides, but we've seen what he can do when he puts it where he wants to.
There you go, full and straight is his options right now. He's bowling full straight, letting it swing back in. And because he's that full and that straight, it becomes hard for the batters. Because it is swinging, they're not able to free their hands through mid-wicket or even straight down the ground. They have to worry about their stumps and have to be protective of that.
It's always on your mind when you're bowling this line in length. It's always there.
With punished into the offside. A lot of work to be done. And a slip will keep it to just to one. There was a slip there from Gunwarjeet Singh as he tried to turn back for two.
Yeah, that square is quite hard, but it's grassy too.
Yeah, very grassy indeed. And so just that's why there's still swing. Even if it's not green grass, there's still plenty of grass on offer. And Nate Hayes has decided the umbrella has to go. He's closed it up, and let's see if DeGarce can find his length. Down the ground, he's made up his mind, Gunwarjeet. He's not going to let him just bowl the ball full and straight. He's going to make DeGarce have to move, and he picks up 6.
And this was struck right on line to our cameraman, Kyle, but about 20 feet lower than the one that nearly took his head off the other day.
He said he's ready for a catch. This one was never getting to him, but I like this intent from Gunwarjeet Singh. He knows DeGarce is struggling, so he's bowling full and straight, and so you've seen him elect to use his feet, come down, and meet the pitch of the ball.
Terrific courage by Kyle. That had to, you know, reference his trauma a little bit.
Well, now let's see what DeGarce has done. He's now been forced off of his length. How does he respond to getting hit for that boundary? Better. That's where you want to operate, Vinit. That's the area. From there, the ball can move away, move back in, and the batters can't just free their arms.
Excellent stuff. Now we saw on the 6 before that, you were talking about when it's straight and full on the stumps, there's always the concern that it could hit the stumps. But in the power play, if you hit it right back up the middle and you clear the circle, it's a pretty safe shot.
The straightest place to hit is straight back over the bowler's head. Again, brilliant here from Gunwarjit Singh, the use of the feet, and gets it all the way down the ground, bigger and better.
Right to his teammate on the bench. He absolutely thumps this one. As we were just talking about, going straight's a great idea. You can go, you can take that shot on. It's a risk reward, and right now they got the reward.
They do indeed. 4 gone, 36 for 2.
It's an impossible shot.
Sometimes creativity and innovation are all it takes to achieve the impossible. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
Pace will stay on the ball, and will be in the form of Kevin Stout. And he does swing the ball quite well. We saw him bowl quite outstandingly yesterday, Nate, with what he did and how he was able to operate. And now he'll be back in, this time to a left-hander.
And we saw a little bit of a rocky start from him in the first game of the season, but yesterday he recovered. He was very economical. He was the most economical bowler with the economy under 5 yesterday.
Yeah, and again, for him, it will be wickets today will be the key. Can they break this partnership, not allow them to get going? He's operating at the same end that he was yesterday. You mentioned that economy from yesterday, 4.3, 3 overs, 13 runs, and a wicket to his name. What does he have in store now for this pair that's starting to open things up? It'll be Ahad Malik who's taking his time at the moment, but Gunwarjit Singh has freed up his hands, used his feet well. The key here for me is the length, Nate.
And we're seeing him bowling with the keeper back. He's just going to run right through. All the way up to the batter. He's got something to say to him, I think.
You see him just, I think his shoe came untied and just had a little bit of a fun laugh with Ahad Malik at the end. He's a showman. Kevin Stout, never a dull moment.
Now the run-up, I was out on the ground early. The run-up from this side is a little bit smoother than from the other end. We saw yesterday a couple of times bowlers running up from the other end and running short and just, deciding not to deliver the ball, trying to get that run-up down. Here, from this end, is a little bit smoother. So it was an equipment problem, basically.
There you go. It was. Now he's ready. Shoes tied. Slip in place. Starts very, very straight. You can see movement on offer already from Kevin Stout. This feels more like the Kevin Stout we remember from last year. He's running in quick. The ball is swinging. It's pitched up, and he's operating well.
Yeah, even though he was economical yesterday, he had that 1 wicket, and he'll want to continue that. He'll want to continue how good he did yesterday, today, because the big question has been kind of for Fort Lauderdale is the wicket takers from last year need to take wickets this year. Oh,
Nearly
what a
right
stop.
on cue. Well stopped there from Achilles Brown. He's had a lot of work to do coming back over to his right. I think might have just dropped in front of him, but Kevin Stout, he's asking all the right questions.
And Achilles Brown has saved several runs back there with his stops today. His reach is coming in quite handy. Looks like he looks like he's playing that zone defense for Syracuse Orangemen right now with the length that he has.
There you go, the Boeheim reference there, that classic 2-3. Take a second look at this. It just dropped in front of him.
Oh, what a
very nearly that option.
Great stop though, terrific stop. Or nearly a take.
Just 1 run this into the onside. Good sharp bowling from Stout to start out his innings.
Good stop in the circle too. And now square leg fielder goes back.
So what does he have for Gunrajit Singh? This is the matchup for me. The more aggressive of the two. Pushes it out wide, but you see the length is the key here for Kevin Stout. He's opting to be wider of him and pulling the length back.
Here we go. There's only 9 balls left in this power play. 38 for 2, Baltimore.
This will be a wide down the leg side, and again for Kevin Stout, he's got to find a way to bowl to Gunrajit Singh, and this is what he's done. Gunrajit Singh to these bowlers, they're just thinking about the use of the feet. They're thinking about how aggressive he's been, and now puts the bowlers in a couple of minds.
Yeah, 2 wides in a row. And sometimes this happens when you have a plan. You got to execute it. If you miss, it's a wide.
In the air, but it'll fly away from the fielders. That's the beauty of batting in the power play. It'll be just a couple of runs out to deep point.
A little bit too much air under that ball for it to carry all the way to the boundary, but well struck for 2, and effectively a 4 off of the ball because we had the 2 wides prior.
And Stout will feel hard done by that. It came off the outside edge, but you gotta love the intent from Singh. That's why the slip is gone. It's because Singh is looking to flash his hands, and that's why Stout is pushing it out wide. And you see he's struggling there. He's just unable to find the right line to bowl, and has to be much straighter.
Yeah, step back already for Stout from yesterday. He's already accumulated half the runs that he conceded yesterday in his 4 overs.
Does he look to change the angle on Gunrajit because he's like this ball free of his hands? Does he look to come closer to stumps?
Well, you look like you called. Oh, another wide there. Good stop. Saved maybe a few runs. But yeah.
The Fort Lauderdale Lions have been hurting themselves. They've bowled well in the sense of they've gotten wickets early, but right now they're struggling with their extras. They can't control how they're bowling at the moment, and the extras are just going to continue to pile up. They've already got 12 to their name so far today, and this is a team that can't afford it, especially because you've taken those 2 early wickets. You're putting them under pressure.
Yeah, and we saw there, we had a good example of the length of Achilles Brown as he was standing next to Kevin Stout, not a small guy. Oof.
Another wide, another wide. This is poor. This is really poor. Again, you've taken the 2 wickets in the power play. You've done the hard yards. Get through these overs.
Yeah, that's a lot of extras we've seen so far. 13 extras in the innings. That's just inexcusable.
And it's not a 5 wide, so it'll count as 5 extras. These have been single wides that they've been just accumulating.
Thanks to Brown's ability to stop him in the back.
Absolutely, that was well stopped. Again, for Kevin Stout, change the angle. You want to be closer to him. Go around the stumps, bring it in closer.
Oh, I think the ball is just sticking in his hands. Sometimes, on a warm day, your hand swells up a little bit. The ball feels sticky in your hand. You got to change the way you grip it, and that might force you to go from maybe a seam delivery to a cross seam or vice versa.
That's 4 straight wides. There's 6 wides in this over. Off the bat, they've only scored the 3 runs, but they've gifted them those extra 6 runs, and so now it's a 9-run over effectively without having scored a boundary or without either batter really having to work for it.
Yeah, it's really hard to swallow if you are Fort Lauderdale. As I said earlier, they got to do the little things. They got to get the little things done, and they're not doing that today. The ball does look like it's staying in his hand a little bit too long. We'll see the sequencing is a little bit off.
Better. Again, he changed the angle, allowed him just to bowl straight on and not give that width to Gunrajit Singh, but that makes it a 10-run over without these batters having to do too much. It's taken so much off of Gunrajit, where if you were to do that, a couple deliveries earlier, now he has to think about, okay, I have to use my feet, I have to find a way to score.
That's right.
Now it's just, no, I can push it down. If there's one, there's one. If not, we've got 9 runs without having to work.
Well, I think Stout sometimes you get a little bit proud. You just like, I gotta execute this. I'm gonna pull it off this next ball, and sometimes it just keeps sticking.
Another wide, this time through the offside. Struggling are the Lions, or Kevin Stout. And you wonder, with all these extras, Nate, do we see spin come in the next over, even with 1 over left in the power play?
I think so. We've seen that. It seems to be what Fort Lauderdale likes to do anyhow. But I think so, just to get a little bit more control.
Control that over rate as well. Full straight, and they'll get another single. 11 runs from an over where they only had to score 4 of them off the bat. 5 gone, 48 for 2.
Even the best in the business needs a strategic partner to help them win. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
Beautiful day here at Church Street Park, and the Royals have gotten it going. The Lions to a strong start. Not anymore, Nate.
Well, it has been a weekend of beautiful weather here at Church Street Park, but to quote John Facenda from NFL Films, sometimes on the brightest days when all the world's a song, sometimes on the brightest days, the little things go wrong. And for Fort Lauderdale, the little things have gone wrong. They haven't been able to stop bowling wides. And now, as I said before, Achilles Brown has done a terrific job of limiting those to just single wides. We've seen several opportunities where there could have been another run there, another 2 runs, or perhaps even a boundary by. But still, you can't excuse 12, 13 extras at this point, 5 overs into the game.
No, you can't. And like you said, Achilles Brown has been really a savior right now, and Mario Rampersad's been 15. A great wicket keeper, and 15 wides now into that is, you know, we look at spin coming in the form of Brian Gale, who tends to bowl that 1 over in the power play. He's got 2 left-handers to operate with. Starts well, and this over's big, not just from a runs and extras perspective, but also from an over rate perspective. Nate, those wides will, keep you behind the over rate, especially with the pace bowler. So you're just trying to find your way back in and get yourself back amongst the good graces of these umpires. Following him, I'll get a run off of it, but this is good bowling from Gale, and we've seen it consistently from the finger spinners of the Fort Lauderdale Lions, their ability to find a length early and then just have the ball rush on.
Yeah, and I think they'll take runs off the bat right now. They just don't want to see the ball go wide.
Well bowled, and even with all those extras, because the bowling has been so good, they've only given up 49 runs. Couple that with 15 extras, it really should be 34 runs on the board, and that would be an amazing power play right now for the Lions. But those little extras have just cost them what could have been a really good power play. This is brilliantly played into the gap, just a punch into the onside, and how about that from Gunwarjit Singh to find 4?
Wow, that was very nice, very nicely played. We finally saw an opportunity for a boundary because we're not seeing wides right now. But yeah, well played. Well, just scoots this directly into the gap, splits the field perfectly. There's no way they were going to run that one down.
And it's just a punch. We saw yesterday Obis Pinar have one of those classic punches, and those things they're not lost in a T20 game that's all about power. Still room for plenty of timing, soft hands, quick single as well. This is good from the Royals.
Yeah, the Royals are taking what they're getting. I think they're happy that the story right now is no longer Obis Pinar got out first ball. Now it's, can Fort Lauderdale climb? Can they pull their bowlers into this game?
And as much as we've talked about the Lions' mistakes, give credit to Gunwarjit Singh. He's 30 from 15, and he's really just been the aggressor of the bunch and kept things really, really good for the Baltimore Royals, kept things going in the right direction. That power play goes, and you'd say the Royals, they've fought back well, 59 for 2.
It's an impossible shot.
Sometimes creativity and innovation are all it takes to achieve the impossible. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
Ravinder Prasad will come into the attack here. So they'll bring in left arm spin, even with two left-handers. It speaks to how good the finger spin has been for the Fort Lauderdale Lions throughout this weekend. Pulled into the onside. Adam Khan will just keep it to 1.
And that brings up Singh. And because of all these wides, Singh has been able to just look for the bad ball and put it away. And he's done that very, very successfully. Sometimes you get lulled to sleep, sometimes you focus.
Powerfully struck out into the same region. Will just be 1 again. But like you mentioned, it's those extras that let the Royals ease their way back in. Oftentimes when you have wickets down in the power play, you're balancing rebuilding and trying to score big, but then you get gifted runs, and then it's just that one boundary can free you up. Looks for the big sweep. Get away. We'll see if it came off the legs here, if there was bat involved.
That's one shot we haven't seen a lot of success with this weekend. We haven't seen a lot of good success with sweeps or reverse sweep attempts.
In the air. Call of catch. Put down. This has been what's plagued the Lions all weekend long. They've shot themselves in the foot time and time again, and yet again they'll do the same.
Oh no. We saw when you see the feet moving that much when the ball is approaching the hands, you know bad things happen.
Cut away into the gap, and to add insult to the injury, it'll just be 1 run, but that is just really poor there from the Fort Lauderdale Lions. That drop is so costly.
Humongous. I think one of the things that you learn in baseball is how to, I'll tell you in a second.
Pulled away. Just 1? What did we learn in baseball, Nate, very early?
Well, you learn how to run with your head in the air. You learn how to move your feet with your head looking up in the sky, and it's difficult to do.
Well, that drop will lead to a 6-run over. 7 overs gone, 65 for 2.
Even the best in the business needs a strategic partner to help them win. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
Seven overs have come and gone, and the Fort Lauderdale Lions can't seem to find a way to not create errors. It was the wides early. The drops have now started to plague them as well. I'll get you a second look at the drop. Maybe after, there we go, we'll see it right here.
And this is Mahib Siddiqui with the drop. Out there, deep square leg. You see, he's kind of flat-footed right there, going back on his heels. That is not something you want to do, as we see a single pushed there by the lefty. It is not something you want to do. You do not want to be flat on your feet. You don't want to be back on your heels when the ball is approaching you. It causes your body to move too much. You want to be on the balls of your feet. You want to be moving. Keeps your eye line level.
Yeah, and again, it keeps you stationary. As you mentioned, you're not trying to figure out where it's going. When you're trying to readjust late, you're just never in a real good position. The keys, the fundamentals are you get under the ball as quickly as you can, you get very still, and then from there you're in a much better place with your base to make a catch. They talk about you catch with your feet more so than your hands at times.
It's all about your eyes and your feet, and we see another single there, but it's all about your eyes and your feet. If you do have to move your feet, you have to move them in a way where your eyes won't jostle. You have to, your feet and your eyes are connected, you know. You don't want your eyes bouncing around. You can't do anything if you're running and the horizon is bouncing.
Misses out on that delivery there, and again, the Royals have been gifted lives here. The wides have helped their runs, and now you're dropping Ahad Malik. This one's run through third man quite nicely. They'll come back for a couple as chase been given.
And because of that drop, we have now pretty easy going over here of 8 runs so far in the first 5 balls from Gale for the for the 8th over.
Yeah, and what it does is also a chance to get rid of one of the left-handers and bring in a leggy, right? This is a team that's, you know, possesses so many lefties, but you get one out, you can bring in that matchup as this one's pushed through covers, and it'll be run all the way to the boundary. Firmly struck, well placed, finds 4.
Terrific shot. You see the batter, Malik, backing away, freeing up his arms, giving himself space, and that allows him to watch the ball a little bit better onto the bat. He sees it a little bit better out there and just slaps it away. The ball maybe stayed just a hair low, but because he could see it so well, he just punched it to the boundary.
8 overs are up. It's 77 for 2. Here at Church Street Park, it's 74 for 2, and the Baltimore Orioles are cruising thanks to consistent mistakes from the Fort Lauderdale Lions.
Yeah, the Lions are wrapping this one up for them with a bow.
Hit down the ground, just be one out in the deep, but yeah, it's just they're gifting them these runs, those extras that we've talked about, that drop chance, and you know, it's, I would say, disappointing for Dajran Chanderpaul and his men because it's something that they've addressed at the toss. Dajran was talking about it, talking about how they need to just fix these errors in the field. Is this one, they're going to run 2 quickly, and they'll get it there in the end. Really good running from the Baltimore Royals.
And honestly, the first 10 overs in the field from them this weekend, I thought they played really well in the field, and then it just kind of like slowly unraveled. I think when you're in the field, I think you need to keep yourself up. You have to be in a positive mindset. You have to want the ball hit to you every single time. You got to be happy in the field.
Cut nicely out to the fielder, and like you said, you have to just. The cardinal sin for a fielder is, you know, when you know your confidence is down, is when you're sitting there saying, I don't want the ball to come to me. You have to expect, not only expect, but want every delivery to come your way because you're going to make a difference. Meets it on the full, in the gap as well. It'll run away for 4. Brilliant use of the wrist there from Gunwarjeet Singh. He's putting on a clinic.
Nice flare with that wristy shot, but he got a present here with this one. Full toss right at shin height, and all he had to do was flick it to the spot he wanted.
Again, he's making his own gifts also. He's using the feet to disrupt the length. Just nicely tucked into that mid-wicket boundary, toying with the field. It's vacant over there.
And that ball was pretty wide for where he ended up putting it, but you could see the intent there, the intention of him hitting it to the leg side, the sky intent right there.
Big sweep. It's gone through everybody. It's going to run away. They could come back for 2, and they will in the end. Good work on the boundary to keep it from 4.
We finally saw the impenetrable armor of Brown penetrated there.
And that'll close out the 9th over, and another good over for the Baltimore Royals. It's 85 for 2. It's 85 for 2.
It's an impossible shot.
Sometimes creativity and innovation are all it takes to achieve the impossible. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
Church Street Park, it's not just home to cricket, but just a couple minutes up the road is already used, so plenty of planes flying in and out as Gale's back in on the pads, probably angling down the leg stump, maybe a bit high as well.
Looks like it was going down the leg according to Bosker there. But yeah, we have the plane going right over the field right here. Oftentimes they're missing, but there we go. It pushes it to the side. They're going to come back. Nope, they're not coming back for 2. Just one run. We got Gale pulling up a little bit, limping. There goes that plane directly over the field. That is unusual. Casting a shadow right over Dane Pete's house.
Talk about casting a shadow. Right now, the mistakes of the Lions have been casting that shadow over what has really been a pretty decent day with the ball in hand. Just mistakes, unforced errors, as we call them, the wides, those drop chances. But they also got to find a way to not do what we're doing and continue to bring it up. They've got to find a way to put it behind them and keep moving forward in today's game.
After the game last night, I was going to talk to some of their players, but they were
in the air, away from the fielders, and it'll be 4 runs down the ground, and this time it's Ahad Malik getting in on the action.
Yeah, we know Malik had a little bit of a slow start. All the pressure was taken off of him by Singh, but now this is a beautiful shot here.
Excuse me, that is going to be Gurneet Singh with another boundary to his name, and he's batting on another level at the moment.
Oh, wait, that's his 50
that
too.
That is his 50. Well done.
According to the scorecard, let's see how. And they're going to just keep it to a single there.
But again, well done from Gurneet Singh, back amongst the runs as he gets back into the 11, moves past 50 now, and really a much needed one indeed.
Got a little bit of a discrepancy here between what's on the scoreboard and what's on your screens.
Pushed past the fielder, it'll race away, and it'll end up being 4 runs. Now it's Ahad Malik getting in on the action.
Well struck there. We see that sidewalk turns into a freeway sometimes for the ball. Makes it travel even further off the roll. Just getting to the pitch of the ball there, just scooting his feet just a little bit, just enough.
This for the Baltimore Royals is very, very good. You're going to see to close the 10th over, they've moved themselves into a very good position. It's 90 for 2.
Even the best in the business needs a strategic partner to help them win. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
Well, the captain's seen enough, and he's gone to himself now. Chanderpaul doesn't tend to bowl, but he'll bowl here today. And quick scurry into the onside for one. It's Achilles Brown who made the long trek over there, and for Chanderpaul, we're just going to want to see what he can do. You can see he's quick through the air, not looking for much turn, just darting it in. Another push into the offside, no run on offer. The ground fielding, you would say, for the Lions has been much better than in previous days.
Yeah, I think the inner circle's done pretty well today. You've seen, as I mentioned before, good keeping.
Another push down the ground. They'll get one, and Chanderpaul brought himself on not to bowl the quiet over. He came in to bowl to produce a wicket. That's why he's in here. They're searching for a wicket somewhere. Haven't found it. Again, they're just fixing that scorecard for us now.
It's getting fixed. I was incorrect when I said that Singh had reached his 50, it looks like, but we'll find out in a second with this scorecard is all fixed out.
Yeah, it seems to be back up to where it needs to be, and seems like, never mind, they're still trying to sort out what's happening. This one's on the pads, down leg again. So again, they're still trying to work out this scorecard here and work out those deliveries. It was just a couple of boundaries that they missed in that 10th over. Hit straight to the fielder. This is quiet here from Chanderpaul. Hasn't given up much, and he's been in a decent position here, but he's searching for that wicket. Just the 3 runs from his over there. The score, we reckon, should just now get to 100 after 11.
It's an impossible shot.
Sometimes creativity and innovation are all it takes to achieve the impossible. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
Running out of options now are the Fort Lauderdale Lions. They'll have to go into their tool bag and try to find a way to produce a wicket. Change of ends for Kevin Stout. Really had a tough day with the ball. It was all the extras. If you remember, that was the reason as to why that he struggled and gave up 12 runs, and 7 of them came off of extra deliveries. So they've got to find a way to get amongst the right line and length. Slower one put away. Fielder will come around. I think got a hand to it.
Like Chanderpaul got a hand to it. Like Chanderpaul slowed that one down. Getting a hand to that one.
We'll see how the field changes here. That cover's in place. There's a sweeper cover alongside a long off and a deep third. This one's pushed just to point. Well done inside the ring. They'll still get that single though. It's good running, good intent from the Baltimore Royals as they continue to push forward. And Kevin Stout much better so far. Hasn't been able to find the right line and lengths. This over, though, he's been much better. In the air, away from the fielder. It'll be 4 runs, a touch of fortune there, but the intent is what matters. Fortune favors the bold. This time it's Ahad Malik finding the boundary. Again, on second look here, it's just, again, the wrong line, the wrong length. Short, wide, easy enough. Point was in place, but any bit of bat was going to fly over that fielder. Ahad Malik is too good to let that happen. Slower one put into the onside. Again, the Royals are just batting with such ease. They're finding singles, which is kind of the staple of their game. Whatever wicket they bat on, whatever type of outfield it is, they find ways to get singles, and then the boundary striking, to me, has really been what's impressed this week. Last week was tough to find boundaries on difficult surfaces down in Atlanta. Coming up to Morrisville has provided them with that, but this is just, there's still room for this in T20 cricket, to bat like this, to bat with soft hands, push for one. It'll close out an over where the Baltimore Royals were able to pick themselves up 8 runs, 12 gone. Pushed into the onside. They'll get 2 runs there. So we reckon the score, it's not on your screen because there's just seems to be an error with the scoring, is 110 now with those 2. And again, we'll keep a manual scoreboard ticking. Nate Hayes is pulling his best Peter De La Penna right now, and is just starting to put the dots in to the over. Peter De La Penna, Nate, does this for this exact reason. I'll give you this in a second. What he says to me is, the apps can go wrong. The internet can go down. What can never go down? A piece of paper and a pen. So he scores every single delivery, and is always checking.
Yeah, and the reason I'm not Peter De La Penna, you didn't hear my voice the whole time I was trying to fix that, right? You didn't hear it at all, which means I can do only one thing at a time.
The amazing thing about Peter is that he'll be commentating the game, he'll be scoring, and then he's clicking photos. So he's got every hand is doing something, and then he, when he has the headset, it just feels like Candyland for him, because he can just rest the headphones on and then right hand writing it down, left hand on the shutter. This one's fended away as Chanderpaul continues with the ball. Gave up 3 runs in his first over, already 4. And he has to find a way to get a wicket. When does Adam Khan get in? I know it's 2 lefties, but he's bowled too well for him not to be in this 12th over.
Another reason this partnership is so big for Baltimore, well stopped by Chanderpaul. Definitely saved 3 runs by getting his hand on that ball.
And Chanderpaul is bowling well, but he hasn't found that wicket, and that's why we're asking Adam Khan, Isaiah Raja. Straight. And we'll go all the way. Fielder didn't really have a chance to get there. Brilliant stroke making here from Ahad Malik.
Terrific shot. We've seen both of these batters. Oh, look at that beautiful bat face presentation. And Ravinder Prasad had no chance chasing that one down.
Well, that'll close out the over, and 13 overs are gone. And that score has just started to move towards the Baltimore Royals.
Even the best in the business needs a strategic partner to help them win. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
Single there to start out the over, and again, we're just trying to get that score back for you. And we'll continue to monitor this. Nate Hayes, he's on it with the pen in hand.
We had 9 on the last over there, thanks to the boundary at the end. And that brings us to 117.
118 now with that one single. It's Kevin Stout continuing with the ball in hand. Slowing it down, and the one time, we haven't seen it much from Achilles Brown. Might have just died right in front of him, unable to keep it. They'll scamper home and by.
They need to go back to over number 9, and then from there, they need to start scoring from over number 9. So what they're doing is wrong right now. They need to stop right now. They need to go back to over number 9. And for now, do the paper scoring.
So what does Kevin Stout have in store? Again, the Baltimore Royals have just cruised to this. And to me, I need to see Adam Kahn bowling. He's bowled so well this entire time. I get it, it's 2 lefties, but he's your wicket-taking option. Slower one again, and now back up to the stumps, understanding that Stout's going to bowl slower. It's good recognition from the youngster.
And what we've seen here is 3 good balls from Stout as well. 3 good deliveries, which is an accomplishment.
Yeah, it's been that way today for Stout. He hasn't been able to be at his absolute best as we're accustomed to seeing him. Straight and all the way. That is brilliant. Straight down the track. And that is just scintillating from that man who's come in, Gunwarjit Singh.
This big partnership just continues right here. A nightmare for Fort Lauderdale. These 2 lefties, as you mentioned, they're keeping the leg break out of the bowling attack.
124 now on the board. Excuse me, make it 125 as this one's helped into the onside. Keeps the scoreboard ticking. And Gunwarjit Singh, he's moved well past 50 now. He's probably out there in the 70s. We don't have that exact score for you, but he's just been so good today. And now Ahad Malik will get a chance at it. Kevin Stout, it's become predictable. It's slower, and the batters are just waiting on it. So anything where you miss the length full is gonna go down the ground for a boundary. Swept. Well stopped in the inner ring. Probably saves this team 3 runs, but it'll be a single to close out the over. And after what looks to be another good over for this Baltimore Royals team, 14 gone, 127 for 2.
It's an impossible shot.
Sometimes creativity and innovation are all it takes to achieve the impossible. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
Ryan Prasad now will roll his arm. Not the spinning option that we thought we'd see. We thought it'd be Adam Kahn, but it looks like they're going to go with the leg spin of Ryan Prasad.
Hair not as long as we're used to seeing from Ryan Prasad. I saw him the other day with a hat on. Didn't quite recognize him because his hair is a lot shorter, and actually my hair is longer, so he didn't recognize me either. It was kind of a funny moment. We were like, hey, I didn't recognize you with your hair, and he said the same thing.
We'll see if he can deliver something with the ball in hand, and look like Nate Hayes bowling some ripping off spin. Struggle with the run-up so far. He's missed it twice. Third time's the charm, as they say. See if that proves to be true. Straight down the ground, and as big as you like. That is huge, that is massive, and it's 6 runs there for the Baltimore Royals.
Just totally bombed this one. Whoa, this is the advantage of having 2 lefties in there with a leg spinner. And I bet you can't feel lucky coming into this right now as a leg break bowler, your first overs of the weekend.
And moves the score past 130. This time into the onside. It would be a wide down there. That's what's been struggling. And how about this? This is really good from the batter. He said it's come off my pads, and so they've gotten rid of the wide call. Really, really good. You love to see that. I know Andrew Leonard, whoever he's watching, is saying love that because it's the spirit of the game, and he's kept it from being an extra run. Low tickle into the onside. They're going to look for 2. And they'll just settle for the 1 there.
It is so impressive there from Malik to concede that was a dot ball. Very impressive stuff. We see the effort, we see the hustle from Malik. There's never in question that this guy plays the game the right way. He plays with a lot of effort, a lot of hustle. He's going to run 2.
He's always going to try to go, and 2023 was a bigger deal. Haven't seen it yet, as this one swept well into the gap again, and another huge 6 off the bat of Kunwarjeet Singh. Hello, welcome back to minor league.
Oh my goodness, right there. You know the ball's going to turn back into you, so you can take that risk. If that ball's turning the other direction, you're not quite as free of mind to take that shot. But he extended the arms. Why not go for it now if you're Baltimore?
You reckon the scorecard right now, maybe 2 to 3 runs off of his exact total. So somewhere between 76 and 77 is Kunwarjeet Singh at the moment.
And they're at 140 right now. Baltimore is.
Meaty full toss. It's hit into the offside. Just beat the 1 out there. But this is good. They've picked up those 2 6s, and now their life looks so easy, doesn't it, for the Baltimore Royals? And they're just finding runs with such ease.
Yeah, it's easy street for them right now. At this point in the game, 141 is a great score to have. 15th over. That's tremendous.
Big wide and a miss there from Achilles Brown. They'll be able to sneak off a little single there off the wide, and Ryan Prasad not happy that has beaten Brown, but again, you can't bowl these extras. The Royals are set up for the biggest target we've seen here at Church Street Park this season.
Yeah, this is definitely a big score here. This is going to be a difficult chase. We saw Ryan with the effort ball.
And a little nudge back to Ryan Prasad to close out what's been an eventful over, and one the Baltimore Royals will enjoy.
14 over.
At the end of 15, it's going to be 141 for 2.
Even the best in the business needs a strategic partner to help them win. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
From the Cedar Fork end, it's Adam Khan. It's his preferred end of the ground, but it feels too late for me, Nate. If to bowl his full quota, he can't do it. He can only bowl really 2 overs from here at this point.
Yeah, this is difficult. I think the weekend that he's had, why not go to him a little bit earlier? Unfortunately, this lefty-lefty partnership has made that tough.
Nearly chopped on, and Adam Khan asking questions straight away, Nate. This is the first delivery he's bowled, and he's already making life difficult.
Yeah, that could have been a wicket. Dangerous ball immediately. We see a bunch of googlies here to the lefties.
And that one turned back in, so
did.
he's unafraid to move it back. This is a confident young leggy. Turning it back in yet again. Just 1 on offer.
Using the crease really well there. Taking a wider approach, angling it in more. That batter saw that well and chopped it away for a single.
This is the matchup. Kunwarjeet Singh just fends it into the onside. They'll look for 2 here, and they'll get it with such ease in the end. It's smart batting. They know Adam Khan's the one to watch for. They've set up base, and Gulrjeet Singh enjoyed back so much that he's okay with just letting the 1s and 2s go for him and then hit everybody else.
At this stage, you'll take 3 from 3 against a bowler who's had a weekend like him.
Straight back to Adam Khan. No run available, and this is good from the youngster. Again, this is not an easy place to come in and bowl, and straight away, he's come back in, he's bowled sharply, and he's kept things tough. Pulled into the onside, and it'll race away for 4 runs. This is good stuff here from the Baltimore Royals. Even Adam Khan is going to face the wrath of these 2 batters.
Yeah, they gave him 4 balls. Now they're going to go for it. They're just a little bit shorter that time. Rocking back, pulling it over to the leg side, mid-wicket area.
Gulrjeet Singh, he's taking the helmet off now. He's just batting at an easy pace at the moment. He's able to put the 1 ball they got short on Adam Khan away. Brilliant stuff here. Adam Khan would love to get this wicket. You can see the field getting adjusted as mid-wicket comes around and becomes much straighter.
And maybe that's only the 3rd or 4th time this whole weekend Khan's left 1 short.
Again pulled into that same area. Fielder positioned for that. It'll just be 1 run there. So Khan come in, yes, giving up that boundary, but he's bowled quite well to close out the 16th over. 10 runs from it, 151 for 2.
It's an impossible shot.
Sometimes creativity and innovation are all it takes to achieve the impossible. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
Correction on that score. It is 152 that we have on our scoreboard for 1.
For 2.
For 2, rather. 152 for 2. Again, Nate Hayes, the manual scorer, is keeping things moving and active.
Don't give me too much credit because they haven't fixed it all the way yet. So we might be apologizing again.
We're roughly in the 150s. We can tell you that for sure, as we're going to get to see Pestano come back into the attack. So pace from this end. I'm curious now, do you think Adam Khan continues, or do you think they go back to Vinit Tagarse?
Why not go with Adam Khan at this point? I think just, you want to get, if you take a wicket, he's their better chance, I think, right now of getting a wicket at this point in the game.
Pestano starts off to Gulrjeet Singh. Starts off well. It's a good length to be at for Pestano. That area has been a place that the Lions haven't been able to get to consistently, and that's been their biggest issue, is that they've missed that length all day long.
Yeah, missing the length or missing the line, missing all over the place.
Coming in for ball number 2. Pushes it out wide. It's hit straight. And just 1 hop in front of the fielder. A little bit of a fumble will allow them to come back for 2. We talked about how the ground fielding was much better today for the Lions, but that occasion maybe a touch sloppy.
Yeah, Ryan Prasad got there to stop it. Bobbles it a little bit, and they get another run. The always eager running of Baltimore, ready to take advantage of mistakes like that. They are going to capitalize on your mistakes, this partnership in particular.
Yeah, they've changed the position of that fielder now. The man who was out there in the deep has come inside the ring, and they've pushed a new man out. So it's been, where's our best fielder? We need him in the best positions. And with Gulrjeet Singh on strike, he's approaching his 100 now in the 80s. Flick of the wrist into the onside, brilliantly played, and it'll trickle on to the boundary. It'll be 4 runs, and Gulrjeet Singh is putting on a clinic.
I'll tell you what, he's looking fantastic. Let's look at the replay here. He just wrists that over. There was no one anywhere near that ball.
It was just a flick of the wrist. And, you know, you think about this, Nate, this is a guy who hasn't been in the 11 that consistently. He's been out of the team. He's been moved away from the opening position. And now he's just finding such rhythm as he's been brought back.
Yeah, it's great. You know, it's interesting. We talked at the beginning about the depletion of the batting of this Royals team due to injury.
Again into the onside. This one not as well timed, but yeah, you mentioned it. The injuries we talked about could add up and pile in, but they're so deep, this team. We didn't see Neil Navrekar yet today, and he's someone who can hold the bat up there with the rest of them.
We said after Obus got out, we said Navrekar would have to step up, would have to play big for this team to get to a good total. They're putting together the biggest total of the season so far here in the South right now.
Pulled this time for Mahad Malik to find one. And yes, Obus Pinar goes early, but it's not just Obus Pinar going early we're talking about. You lose your captain who opens the batting, Jaskar Malhotra. Then you lose Ravinder Singh, who's really your staple number 4. You lose Mohammad Mohsin, who in the middle, he's such a prolific bat. So you've lost pieces pretty consistently. And still somehow this team is going to put up, like you mentioned, the highest total of this weekend and the highest total we've seen in the South all season.
And it might be just what the doctor ordered with Lada out of the action,
exactly.
with a split web on his hand. This is a very impressive effort here by Baltimore.
Swing and a miss. The first time we've seen that in a while here. Achilles Brown keep things tidy, and that'll close out this over. 17 gone, and we reckon it's 160 for 2.
Even the best in the business needs a strategic partner to help them win. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
Well, contrary to the scorecard, we are now just starting the 18th over. It's Adam Khan coming back in. Met with a sweep. And taken on the boundary. That's really well done out there in the deep. Adam Khan picks up a wicket, and it's the end of Ahad Malik.
We've seen a tremendous innings here from Malik, and it comes to a close. We had just said we thought Adam Khan should come in for the 18th. He said stay in the game because he's most likely to get that, exactly that right there. Trying to hit it to the long boundary of the field, just came up short.
And that will be the back of Ahad Malik. It's now 160 for 3. New batter comes into the middle, and we'll get you their name shortly, but we'll see what he has in store as well. How does he look to attack? Righty though for Adam Khan. So he'll get to operate to the right-hander. Nicely done, and it's a difficult spot to bowl to a leg spinner. A leg spinner to bowl in this situation, right? Late in the game, you expect batters to go big, but Adam Khan's doing it really well.
Oh my, he's been big in the moment all weekend. He's been the highlight for the team.
This looks good, looks straight, says no. Umpire, I think, saying a bit high, maybe sliding down leg. Adam Khan, smile on his face, he thought it was out. Shit. Very, very close, that indeed, but Adam Khan bowling well. No run on offer again. This is brilliant. This is an exhibition of bowling from Adam Khan.
And you said that looked pretty plumb. We've had a couple of difficult potential LBW calls from that end today. It's never easy out there, that's for sure. But we are on our way to a tremendous over here.
Picked up. Has he found all of it? Yes, he has. A 6 that's bigger than the rest. Gets in, and after a couple of good deliveries from Adam Khan, a boundary to follow.
This one goes right over the net out there to protect the drivers. There was no protection here. It just was good luck that there was a car about 20 feet away when it hit. But what a shot. One of the advantages you do have as a righty against a leggy is you get the short side from that end.
Yeah, and you can see the netting there on your screen, and that's what we're talking about. Again, that netting there went over the top, and now we're going to have to fetch a new ball here. So what we reckon is the score at the moment is going to be 166 for 3 is what we reckon is the total on the board. There's still a delivery to go in this over, but we reckon that's roughly the total. Again, we're going to get you an exact in-house venue total here when we get a chance. It'll be the umpires. They have a manual score. And so again, that scorecard, if you're looking on the app, is not correct. It is inaccurate at the moment. Live scoring not being done at the ground in terms of the app. So what happens at the ground is being noted manually. Pushed into the onside. They'll just get 1 for it. Still was a good over for Adam Khan, but that 6 just changes the implications of it. 18 gone, 167 for 3.
It's an impossible shot.
Sometimes creativity and innovation are all it takes to achieve the impossible. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
Pistano. Straight up. I think it'll fall safe. Yeah, it will. Just bisected those two fielders, and they'll come back for 2 as well. Good attentive running from the Baltimore Royals.
Pistano looked like he could have easily hurt his ankle on that. He was running back down that hill, tried to stop. Once he realized he was going to overrun the ball, he tried to put the brakes on.
And it's Jeskron Boutard who's come in with the bat in hand.
And as we said, he strikes quite ferociously
At
in his T20.
149.
Yeah, in his T20 career, yeah.
Nowhere to go. Well bowled, a well executed Yorker that. And you know, for me, All right, can we get Gunwarjit Singh back on strike? He's the one who's seeing the ball so well, hitting it all over the place. Can you find one and get Gunwarjit back on?
And for Fort Lauderdale, that's the type of delivery you wanted all day. That was a beautiful ball by Pastano. Fort Lauderdale's going to wish that Pastano could have bowled 8 overs in this game.
Pulled away. There'll be one. And this is now the matchup for the Baltimore Royals. This is what they want. Yes, the Lions are going to like to see Pastano with the ball, but it's Gunwarjit Singh. He's going to look to be aggressive. He's moved, we believe, roughly between 87 to 92, anywhere in that range, we'd say. So let's see what happens. They've packed out that leg side. Deep mid-wicket comes into place alongside a long on, a deep backward square. No one inside the ring on the leg side. That mid-wicket fielder is moved to short cover. Long off and a deep cover in place as well. Third man is inside the ring alongside fine leg. So has to watch his line here. Pulled and into the gap. How about this? Gunwarjit Singh is batting on a different planet at the moment, and he's eyeing triple figures.
Tremendous stuff. We talked about the depleted batting lineup, and Singh has said, well, we're not that depleted. Watch this. He's just making them pay for every single mistake, every little miss.
Look for the big heave. Should just find one, and we'll just get one. But yeah, like you mentioned, every little mistake, anytime they've missed just slightly. That wasn't a big miss from Pastano. He has the field for that delivery. He's just slightly straight, and that's what's allowed him to be in that area. And again, this is just really good batting from Gunwarjit Singh.
And we're a few overs away now from the period in the game, in the innings, where Fort Lauderdale was just kind of gifting runs to Baltimore. They haven't really done that so much. Baltimore's earned them the last few, but
look to be innovative. Big shout, says no. Probably hit outside that line, but for Buttar, you're doing too much for me. You can just get that single, but that did close the over, so probably not the worst option. 8 runs coming from it. We reckon it's 175 for 3.
Even the best in the business needs a strategic partner to help them win. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
th over. And Adam Khan has gotten through Gunwarjit Singh. It's been a good innings. We reckon he's in the 90s, and he's come to an end. You knew he had to go, and Adam Khan picks up wicket number 2.
And his wonderful weekend continues. Just imagine how much better this team could have performed if the performers from last season were performing this season along with the new performers. Adam Khan is having himself a great start to the season. He's been on this team, but he's taking a big role this year. Look at that. Excellent. Just gets right through. Ball turns right back in. His ball's been turning quite well.
Yeah, and the key for that will be the width of the crease, and it'll close out Gunwarjit Singh. He's been brilliant. This in-house score here will read 170 for 4. Well, that delivery, that wicket, for me, it was how wide Adam Khan was outside of his crease. He was almost past that wide line, ended up finishing outside the crease line, the pitch line rather. So he's someone who's been very good at changing his width on that occasion. But Nate, we get to see your man, Daron Davis, walks in with bat in hand.
Well, it's about time we get to see him with the bat here. We know that what he can do in the field. We know what he can do with the ball. He's just a very good all-around cricketer. This team seems to be loaded with them. As I was mentioning, I was joking with them yesterday after the game. You guys got to protect your batters. You can't let this many batters get injured. And they kind of looked at me like, you know, we're worried about our bowlers.
Little nudge into the offside. They'll pick up a single there. And I'm curious now, who's the man who's going to be the big striker? Daron Davis plays the nice punch to start the over. Are they going to be happy taking singles all the way through, or are they eyeing 180 off the bat of Jaskran Buttar?
I think you got to go for 180 right here. Let's remember back to the 15th over. At the end of the 15th, we had 142 for 2. Fort Lauderdale, to their credit, has pulled the score back a little bit from that point.
Got a right-hander. You thought Daron Davis would have been the more aggressive, as he's the lefty with the ball turning back in, but instead it'll be on Buttar. Looked for the big swing, nowhere to go. And Buttar here's got to find a way to just start getting at least one and facilitating with Daron Davis.
Yeah, we mentioned earlier, does Adam Khan come in earlier in the game? I think looking back, you had to.
Hit straight up into the air and dropped. Brian Gale this time unable to get it. And that is just poor. That is really, really poor from the Fort Lauderdale Lions. Adam Khan should have had wicket number 3.
Once again, looking up into the air. Let's take a look. Straight up. They just know this is a wicket. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's just. I mean, looking up in the air like that, it's not easy. That the height of that ball, it's not easy coming straight down like that in the circle. But you got to be still under the ball.
But you've got to take that. This one's pulled straight back. It's just one. But Nate, you know, these are the things that they've talked about, the Fort Lauderdale Lions, what they need to work on. They need to get better in the field, and they're letting themselves down right now.
This is still only a 3-run over, though, if you're Fort Lauderdale. This is still a really inexpensive over. There you go. Single from our guy.
Hit straight. Is this the end of Buttar now? Yes, Pastano will hang on in the end. Well done that time, and it will be wicket number 3 for Adam Khan. And he gets Buttar on the second go, and really a halting end to this for the Baltimore Royals. They were poised to get to 180. They're roughly in the 173 to 178 range, you would say. But how about that from Adam Khan in that final over?
Tremendous. He's rescued this innings for them. He's given them a chance to chase this game, which you would have thought was totally out of the question before he came into the attack. And it could have been even fewer runs in the over if they had taken the catch, but they'll take three runs from the final over.
Yeah, brilliant this from the Baltimore Royals all day long. It just leaves a question for the captaincy of the Fort Lauderdale Lions. Adam Khan should have been brought in earlier, even with the 2 lefties operating. Gunwarjeet Singh, though, he was the main man in the middle. Roughly around 90 runs for him today.
Yeah, excellent job from Baltimore. You know, kind of recovering from that early loss of Orbis Pinar, and we thought the batting would struggle a little bit from there, but they didn't. And actually, they put up together the biggest score so far at the ground this season.
Yeah, for the Fort Lauderdale Lions, the extras hurt them. A couple of drops out in the deep as well. And that'll close out what was an interesting first innings. Again, we're awaiting the notice of the true final score. What we reckon it is around 170 to 178. The in-house venue says 173. What we've done is we've kept score since the 13th over based on the Cricket Club scoring, and we've managed a total of 178. So we'll be around that range. We reckon it's closer to 173, but join us when we get back here at Church Street Park for the second innings. Starts short, it's in the air, and first ball. Obis Pinar has picked out the man stationed at fine leg. What a start for the Fort Lauderdale Lions. This one is just crashed onto the legs of Lumba. This is a brilliant first over. Just the one run courtesy of an extra. And I think it's hit. This will be runs as a flashing blade. A little bit edgy, but it gets over the rope. It'll be 4 runs. Those big blows with the bat. Losing Obis early and wasn't a problem. And so new man coming in for the Baltimore Royals.
It's tough to tell from here at this moment with the sun.
On the pads, no shot offered. Given, it's hit him outside, but he hasn't offered a shot. This is what swing can do, and Ronak Sharma has to go. In the air, but over the top. It'll run away towards the boundary. A convincing boundary here for Kunwarjit Singh.
Just makes it look.
In the air again, away from the fielders again. It'll run away for 4. And Kunwarjit Singh, he's liked it pitched up, and he's taking advantage. Can find his length. Down the ground, he's made up his mind, Kunwarjit. He's not going to let him just bowl the ball full and straight. He's going to make the Garce have to move, and he picks up 6. Again, brilliant here from Kunwarjit Singh. The use of the feet, and gets it all the way down the ground, bigger and better.
Sometimes it just keeps sticking.
Another wide this time. The Lions, but those little extras have just cost them what could have been a really good power play. This is brilliantly played into the gap. Just a punch into the onside, and how about that from Kunwarjit Singh to find 4? In the air, call of catch. Put down. This has been what's plagued the Lions all weekend long. They've shot themselves in the foot time and time again. One out. You can bring in that matchup as this one's pushed through covers, and it'll be run all the way to the boundary. Firmly struck, well placed, finds 4. Dutchman was talking about it. Talking about how they need to just fix these errors in the field. Is this one, they're gonna run 2 quickly, and they'll get it there in the end. Really good running way, because you're gonna make a difference. Meets it on the full, in the gap as well. It'll run away for 4. Brilliant use of the wrist there from Kunwarjit Singh. He's putting on a clinic.
Nice.
In and out as Gale's back in on the pads, probably angling down the leg stump.
They were
in the air, away from the fielders, and it'll be 4 runs down the ground, and this time it's Ahad Malik getting in on the action.
Screens.
Pushed past the fielder. It'll race away, and it'll end up being 4 runs. Now it's Ahad Malik getting in on the action. Much better. In the air, away from the fielder. It'll be 4 runs. A touch of fortune there, but the intent is what matters. Fortune favors the bold. This time it's Ahad Malik finding the boundary. Straight. And we'll go all the way. Fielder didn't really have a chance to get there. Brilliant stroke making here from Ahad Malik. Straight. And all the way. That is brilliant. Straight down the track. And that is just scintillating. Swept. Well stopped in the inner ring. Probably saves this team 3 runs, but it'll be a single. Straight down the ground. And as big as you like. That is huge. That is massive. And it's 6 runs there for the Baltimore Royals. Haven't seen it yet. As this one swept and swept well into the gap again. And another huge 6 off the bat of Kunwarjit Singh. Hello, welcome back to minor league. Pulled into the onside, and it'll race away for 4 runs. This is good stuff here from the Baltimore Royals. Even Adam Khan is going to face the wrath of these 2 batters. Number 2 pushes it out wide. It's hit straight, and just one hop in front of the fielder. A little bit of a flick of the wrist into the onside. Brilliantly played, and it'll trickle on to the boundary. It'll be 4 runs, and Kunwarjit Singh is putting on a clinic.
I'll tell you.
Met with a sweep and taken on the boundary. That's really well done out there in the deep. Adam Khan picks up a wicket, and it's the end of Ahad Malik.
The team.
This looks good, looks straight, says no. Umpire, I think, saying a bit high, maybe sliding down leg. Picked up. Has he found all of it? Yes, he has. A 6 that's bigger than the rest. Gets in, and after a couple of good deliveries from Adam Khan, a boundary to follow. Straight up. I think it'll fall safe. Yeah, it will. Just bisected those. Pulled. And into the gap. How about this? Gunwarjit Singh is batting on a different planet at the moment, and he's eyeing triple figures. Look to be innovative. Big shout. Says no. Probably hit outside that line, but for Buttar. And Adam Khan has gotten through Gunwarjit Singh. It's been a good innings. We reckon he's in the 90s, and he's come to an end. You knew he had to go, and Adam Khan picks up wicket number 2.
Looking back, you had to.
Hit straight up into the air. And dropped. Brian Gale this time unable to get it. And that is just poor. That is really, really poor from the Fort Lauderdale Lions. Adam Khan should have had wicket number 3. Is this the end of Buttar now? Yes, Pastano will hang on in the end. Well done that time, and it will be wicket number 3 for Adam Khan. And he gets Buttar on the second go, and really a halting end to this for the Baltimore Royals. They were poised to get to 180.
It's an impossible shot.
Sometimes creativity and innovation are all it takes to achieve the impossible. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
You're watching the 2024 Minor League Cricket Championship presented by Yash Technologies. Well, we're back here at Church Street Park, and we've got an official word. The score is 173. The in-house scorer is working very, very hard on the paper and the scoreboard in the venue. It'll be Ryan Chanderpaul and Isaiah Raja to start. And Neo Navrekar didn't see him feature with the bat. He'll start with his off spin with a slip in place. Nate, you said it was important for Ryan Chanderpaul to get off the mark hot today, find some more runs up top the order. We'll see what he can do, starting with this off spinner. Ball just stay maybe a touch low, but off the mark straight away is Ryan.
Yeah, it is going to be crucial here for Taj to stack up the runs. He's going to have to do it a little quicker than he might have wanted to, thanks to a good first innings from Baltimore. But I don't think 173 is out of the question.
No, I don't think it's out of the question at all. It's a good wicket to bat on. There's still plenty of bounce. The one question is, when does the wicket start to deteriorate? Does it start to deteriorate? Now down the leg side. And the reason we ask that question is because it's the third match on this very same surface. So this is something to watch for. Does the wicket start to open up and spin? Does the grass start to die off? What is going to be the mold here? Help himself. Does Isaiah Raja. Gets one full down the leg and puts it all the way for 4.
Well, you see the hardness of the ball here early in the innings. Shows up how fast this ball leaves the bat. Boom. It is to the boundary in a hurry. The only question was, did it go far enough? It didn't quite make it. 4 runs for the lefty bat.
And the thing for Raja here is he's gotten a couple of starts, 14 off 9 in game 1, and got off to a couple of boundaries yesterday. But now it's about turning that start into a successful 50. Look for that same shot, though. It'll be wide, and this is something the Royals will want to avoid. We saw plenty of extras from the Fort Lauderdale Lions. Going to need to keep themselves on the right foot here.
We mentioned Navrekar with the bat before. Now he's starting off with the ball. They are missing some bowlers. We mentioned they were missing batters. They're missing all-rounders, really, is what they're missing, but they're also missing Lara, who we saw walking around earlier. He'll be out for maybe 3 weeks.
Again, down the legs, and you can see the plan from Raja is to attack the legs. Yeah, missing out on Sarvjit Ladda is huge. He's a wicket taker. He builds pressure, and you lose him and Mohammad Mohsin. Those are 2 X-factor bowlers that are no longer in your back pocket if you're the Baltimore Royals. And fended away from Isaiah Raja, and they'll get a quick single on this as well. How is that turned into a single, Nate? How about this?
Well, I was already in the middle of writing down a little dot symbol, and I had to cover it up with a little one-line symbol.
Luckily, you could just shift the pen upwards, right? You didn't have to exit out or anything. And
tune in while I learn how to scorekeep.
That's what we do at Church Street Park. We teach. We're always teaching, whether it's people new to the ground of watching cricket, and Nate Hayes trying to score cricket. No run on offer there. And Neo Navrekar just gave up 1 boundary in that first over. We have 7 without loss. Pace from this end of the ground, what we can expect. It's Zaid Alam, who's been so good for this team here. The Baltimore Royals, they've looked at him in a really high facet. We've talked about the pedigree time and time again. Under 19 for Pakistan, bowled alongside Shaheen Shah Afridi. And he's here now. And this is the end we saw a lot of the Pacers operate in. I'm curious, Nate, to see if he's going to get the ball to move similar to the way we saw it move in that first innings.
Well, that one was pretty straight right there.
Yeah, starting back of a length, not looking to swing it early on, and I think it's because Raja has shown the ability to get onto the front foot and free his hands through the line of the ball. He's bowling in a sense of, all right, we have 170 runs on the board. We're looking to slow things up and keep things away from these batters.
You can hear the wind. It's definitely a windier day than normal here at Church Street. It tends to be windier in the middle of the day than in the evenings.
Massive hit into the air and out of the park. It'll cannon onto the sidewalk and stop up off the recycling bin. That's 6 from Isaiah Raja.
Well, we asked whether or not we'd see much swing, and here we have just a little bit of it, but Raja just hammers it, just absolutely wallops it into the hill. Still the best place to watch the game here at Church Street Park, the hill.
Yeah, we're just adjacent to it, and Isaiah Raja is starting things off hot. He's taking a page out of the Kunwarjit Singh playbook. Use of the feet, getting to the pitch of the ball. Took a hand off the bat and just caused a change in the field. Long off and mid-wicket now in the deep. This one pulled the length back. And that's the experience. You can see where the Lions struggled with their lengths, bowling to the attacking Kunwarjit Singh. Alam straight away, pulls the length back, and keeps the batter at bay.
I think I missed a single earlier. Still struggling with my maths here.
Straight down the ground. Wasn't quite timed, and nifty footwork will keep it to just 1.
We saw the uncle stop right there. That's what I like to call that one. That is the Triangle Cricket League boundary rider special right there, but we saw it in the middle, in the inner circle.
My favorite one of that, I think it was Rohit Dutchin, who was fielding at fine leg last season, had a little stop with the leg and then was able to pick it up and create a run out. I think against the Baltimore Royals. I think Ahad Malik was pushing for 2 on that one also. So some familiar faces and familiar stops.
I think that might have been the same game where Lada took his 5-6 wickets. It was a ridiculous game.
Everything happening tends to happen at Church Street. Now it's Chanderpaul. Look to play a similar stroke in a similar direction, but no run on offer. Not as tall as you would say Jessica Butad or some of these other bowlers, but he does bowl quite a heavy ball. Comes out nice, maybe skids on to the bat quicker than you'd expect.
Yeah, definitely not tall for a fast bowler. But he's done well when he's put the ball kind of back a length, made it a little uncomfortable, cramped the batters. And bowling over the stumps to the lefties, you're gonna think that's gonna happen a lot.
Nicely played from Thajnarayan Chanderpaul. Just guided it through the covers. He'll pick up 4 runs there. How beautiful was that?
Wonderful shot there. This is the class of Chanderpaul. This is what he brings. You miss a little bit, you put it in an area he likes, and he's going to eat it for breakfast.
Make it 18 runs to close out the second over. Good start here for the Fort Lauderdale Lions.
Even the best in the business needs a strategic partner to help them win. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
Navrekar starts things off to Isaiah Raja. Will get 1 into the onside. And for those of you who aren't joining us here at Church Street Park, you don't get to witness the masterclass of paper scoring we're seeing off the pen of Nate Hayes.
If you're not careful, you might get a little bonus. We call it the over bonus. Whatever over you've got, if it's a second over, you get 2 extra runs. I might accidentally add the over to the score.
Learning as we go here, Nate. Use of the feet, another tuck into the onside. And again, this is also pretty key here for me when I look at the Fort Lauderdale Lions is this ability to rotate strike and then find the odd boundary. That over of Alam looks so much better. That 6, the single, and then the 4. They can just continue to milk the Royals. This, though, is hit squared up into the air. And it won't get all the way for 4. Just be a couple of runs. Just thought that would have came directly off the meat of the bat for Raja, but just held up.
Yeah, easy, safe shot, really, in the power play. Just make sure you clear that circle. They easily did that. Probably only put about 60% of his strength into that thing, just whacking it over the circle.
Push into the offside. No run available there for Isaiah Raja, but you like the intent from Raja. He's looked to be the more aggressive man so far. This one's pushed. No, just the 1 on Obis Panar. And again, this is fine for the Fort Lauderdale Lions if they can just continue to milk the singles. If they can get that extra boundary, it does change the complexion of the over, but this is a great way to keep yourself in the game.
Absolutely. And I just want to say, anybody who is at the ground, the scoreboard that you're looking at, the physical scoreboard we have here is absolutely correct. I spoke with Namish at the break, and he's on top of things. There's 2 people over there keeping score just to make sure, so we're going to default to that every chance.
Another tuck into the onside. You can see the intent here is to use the feet, get to the pitch of the ball. They've done that well. It'll close out this 3rd over. No boundary available, but these runs are still flowing for the Fort Lauderdale Lions at the end of 3. The score, they added 6 runs. It's 24 without loss.
It's an impossible shot.
Sometimes creativity and innovation are all it takes to achieve the impossible. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
The captain brings himself on. It's Sharad Lumba with the off spin. They've just had the 1 over of Alam that's been uncharacteristically expensive. He's now elected to bring himself on. 2 off spinners now operating. No run available. This is good here from Lumba. You can see he's on a length. He's pushing it through, not giving much time for any of these 2 batters to rock onto the back foot and free their hands with power. He's gone with a heavy leg side field in front of square, mid wicket and long on, very straight. Cut and through the infield. Got a hand to it though. We'll slow it up, keep it from getting to the boundary rope, but they'll pick up 2 runs.
This is dot first ball, right?
Yeah, good there from the Baltimore Royals. It stops like these are little moments. We've talked about how the Lions haven't won them consistently. The Royals doing well so far to win these little battles. Pushing just for the 1 they'll get here, and Lumba's come back beautifully after that expensive first over from Alam.
Yeah, you think the change of bowler here, you think that Baltimore has some urgency here to take an early wicket? I think that they do with this pair of lefties in or with especially with Chanderpaul in here.
It's an aggressive option, right? We've talked about how we were just hoping that the Lions were a touch more aggressive from them. The captain here, Lumba, he's been more aggressive in the sense that he's bringing himself on to bowl. He's not going to just let Alam bowl because he always bowls 2 to start up. He wants to make life uncomfortable for these 2, and you can see pressure starting to build as these singles are not flowing as easily as the Lions would have hoped.
We nearly got a stray ball there, a stray overthrow. Keeper makes a good move. Malek, we've talked about how much he hustles, and he chases that one down and stops early disaster or early mistakes.
Hit straight back to Lumba. This is a great over. Just giving up 3 runs. It's now 27 without loss.
Even the best in the business needs a strategic partner to help them win. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
Well, you will notice on your stream that our overlays are back from Crit Clubs, but there is something to note on that. The Fort Lauderdale score in overs, they're correct. What's incorrect is what they're chasing. You see 159 off 16. That is not what is left for this team to go out there and score. So this is something just to keep in mind. They're not needing 159. I think the Crit Club score is 185 is what they gifted the Baltimore Royals. The Royals did not get there. They got to 173. So you take the difference of that, so those extra 12 runs you'd say, and you make it needing 100 and change. So we'll see what happens now with the Baltimore Royals. Just notice that with your scorecard there, they're 12 runs different. That's the big key here. We see Jeshkar Butardo. He's got the ball in hand, but Nate, these first 4 overs is one key difference you notice in the break.
Well, we've only had one extra so far in this innings. From Baltimore, we talked about gifting runs. We haven't had many gifted runs. Fort Lauderdale looks like they're going to have to earn it off the bat.
Tucked into the onside, just the one. And like you mentioned, they have to score every run, and that's what you've seen. They've been forced to try to pick gaps and hit boundaries and do it on different types of bowlers. And Butard, someone who, you know, bowls that heavy back of a length delivery. 146 more runs, that's what's required. So take that on your screen, minus 12 from that, and that is the correct motive. So again, just trying to give you all the information on this scoreboard right now.
Yeah, the 173 was the official total in the first innings. Buttar looks like he's returning to the same kind of tactics he did yesterday against the lefties, going on the hip early, back of length. Ooh, now he's going a little wide now. I think I might have spoke too soon before the previous ball there. We have a wide delivery here from Buttar.
Yeah, and again, you just see that from Buttar, and what he was just trying to do was just pitch it up a little bit. This one not moving as much and just ends up going down.
Aman, not all wides are created equal. Some of them are a result of a tactic of trying something out. Some of them are a result of just not having control, just trying to find your control. That was kind of a tactical, I think, wide right there.
We'll see if you're right here, Nate, dealing with Isaiah Rajas Buttar. Again, on to the legs. This one's helped behind square. Work to be done from the field. They'll pick up a couple of runs. And I'm noticing some great stuff here, not just on the field, but by our production crew here, and Babar Beg in particular. And you'll notice it in a little bit if he's able to get this to pan out. I'm seeing what he's doing. I was confused in a little bit ago, but this might be some of the quickest thinking I've seen out of producer-director in my time working in broadcast. Again, you'll see it in a little bit. I don't want to spoil this surprise quite yet or put any expectations on him at the moment, but this is some great work by the entire crew, and obviously Kyle, Lobenhofer, and Junaid on camera, bringing you all these beautiful pictures. Again, that heavy ball, very, very apparent, Nate.
Yeah, and you see that time delivering the ball over the stump.
Yeah,
Chanderpaul.
Yeah, change of angle. He's not getting as much swing, so he's, you know, just looking to be much better. You see this on your screen right now. This isn't a mistake. Okay, it's gone, but there is a purpose as to why you can see it on your screen. I'm telling you, this is some brilliant thinking from Babar Beg, and we'll just, when it gets there, you're gonna know and you're gonna love what he's done for you to keep your eyes in the right areas. This one is pushed, but no run available there. It's been a tidy over from Buttar, just that one extra, and he's kept things going. 2 deliveries left in the over, but just above 30 are the Fort Lauderdale Lions.
I'm anticipating this. I'm sitting here trying to do too many things at once to know what this big surprise is.
I might have ruined the whole not putting any expectations on Bobber here, but I believe in him too much to not hype him up as we go through this whole process. Just hangs inside the wide line there. And for Chanderpaul, okay, I get it, it's wider than what you would have liked, but that feels like a ball you could have flashed your blade at and looked to play over a vacant cover region.
Well, he doesn't seem to want to take the risk here. They're not in a bad spot, 32 without loss at this point. But Buttar, his class, we've seen it. We've seen it from him. I'm curious how he's going to approach this next delivery.
Pulled into the gap. Got too short, too straight, and Chanderpaul picks up 4 runs.
I think maybe Chanderpaul's looking for that. I think that might explain why he let the last one go. I think he's looking for that shorter ball, and he puts it just about to mid-wicket there. Nice shot from Chanderpaul.
Yeah, doing well here. Score now after 5 overs is 36 without loss, and we'll get you that surprise after this.
It's an impossible shot.
Sometimes creativity and innovation are all it takes to achieve the impossible. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
Lumba to continue, and I just want you to take a look at your scoreboard after this delivery. As it's hit just for 1. Okay, no run available. Take a look here at the bottom left of your screen. You see where the equation is wrong. Well, Bobber Bite, show him what you did. He's now taken the empty space on the right side of your bug and has shifted it over and has covered up that. That's just that. Again, that's creativity. It's innovation. That's what minor league cricket is all about. Well done, Bobber.
Good work.
This one's helped into the onside for 1. And again, this is stuff that excites you. I don't know. Maybe I'm just weird for this, Nate, but that is something that I saw and I had to talk about.
No, this is why he's our director, producer, jack of all trades for our weekly show. By the way, tune in on Wednesday night for Minor League Cricket Live on the MLC Network, where you're watching this on YouTube right now. Come on Wednesday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Pacific, and you'll see more magic from our buddy Bobber.
No run available. You can see Lumba here is not wanting to give anything angling down the leg side. Even though it might be a touch short, it's quick onto the bat, so Chanderpaul just doesn't have time to swivel around and help himself into the leg side.
It was really clever stuff, Bobber. Good work, man. I was too busy eating to notice.
This one flashed and no run on offer, and Nate, that comment not just got a lot from our buddy Bobber, but our cameras are enjoying what's happening too. It's just it's a whole affair. It's a little family unit over here. Been together for a couple of days in a row now, and again, that's what minor league's all about, bringing folks together. And this is just Kyle's second cricket match, and I have to say he's shooting quite decently. We'll leave that up to Bobber.
What a compliment.
We'll leave that up to Bobber to decide. I don't want to put words in our director's mouth as we get a single taken there. And he does say, "Good job, Kyle," in the end. So Kyle, good job, and the whole minor league world knows that you're doing a great job out there. 1 delivery left in the power play. Just 2 runs from this over. Oh! And taken on the carom. Mohamed Alam nearly made a meal of it, but in the end, makes it look easy.
What a grab. What a phenomenal grab. We've talked a lot about Darren Davis. Remember that catch he took in Major League Cricket where he dives and he catches it off of the bounce. It bounces in his hands when his elbows hit, and you can see that again here. Boom, boom, he catches it. He bobbled it the first time, but it was going towards where he was diving towards, and he was able to grab it out of the air. Excellent effort. Terrific catch.
Isaiah Raja couldn't get that start off to the 50, and to close out the power play, the Royals, they're well ahead, 38 for 1. Well, what a start from the Baltimore Royals after that initial onslaught from the Lions with Isaiah Raja and Chanderpaul exchanging boundaries. It's been all Royals since the spin has been introduced, and alongside that, this man, Jaskran Buttar, has just shown and proved to be a vital resource. He bowls a heavy ball, and he's kept things really tight, and thanks to that fantastic catch from Muhammad Alam, the Royals well ahead. New batter comes in. It's Ravindra Prasad who's in the non-strikers end, so all hope rests upon the captain, Dudgeon Ryan. He's got a deep cover, deep third, a deep mid-wicket, a backward square, and that mid-wicket inside the ring as well, alongside a long on.
Everybody should keep in mind that the target here is 174. 174 runs is what Fort Lauderdale needs to win this game. There's a reason you don't see it on your screen, and it's actually pretty remarkable. If you're wondering why it's not there, it's amazing.
Do you understand why I gave this so much build-up now?
It was terrific. It was a great solution. It was thinking on your toes. That's what we always have to do, isn't it?
It's the name of the game. This one's in the air. Falls short. Didn't quite carry out to deep third. Very nearly, though, the end of the captain of the Lions. And really, Nate, you have to imagine it is upon him to bring this game home. He's the experienced campaigner in the group.
Yes, but we've seen great stuff from Ravindra Prasad this weekend. We've seen some wonderful contributions from him, and I think Fort Lauderdale will be happy with his pair in there. They're not going to be too happy with only having 30-odd runs in the power play, though. I think they'll have wanted to get to 45, 50 runs in that power play, but you got to go now. You got to step it up a little bit.
Big shout. I think it's angling down the leg stump. No given. Very late decision. I want to take a second look at this. He did move across. It will be close. But in the end, it's the end of Ravindra Prasad. First ball, Golden Duck.
And we've seen some difficult calls from that end today. Some tricky ones I wouldn't want to be making the call on. Let's see how this one goes. Definitely fuller. It looked like it might have been going down the leg. We're not quite dead straight on there. Bhaskar took his time, made the call, and right now we are at 39 for the loss of 2.
Well, you can agree or disagree with the call, but in the end, all that matters is the finger of the umpire. It went up, and Ravindra Prasad has to go. So now new man comes in. It's Kevin Stout. He has a 50 here this weekend, but now it's going to need to come much quicker and under a lot more pressure, Nate.
And against the quality of Buttar, he looks like he's going to be an absolute stud in this league. He comes from a lot of experience in India. And let's see if he can keep things going.
Heavy ball again, nearly skidded through to Kevin Stout, but he's able to fend it away. And okay, Dudgeon Ryan Chanderpaul, you have to be the one to get going now. You've just lost the wicket. There's no real time to rebuild, Nate, you'd say, because you have to find ways to score consistently in this session. The second session has to be yours. The first one belonged to the Royals. Now, even if you get sluggish, you have to get going.
And an important thing here is that Buttar still has 14 balls to go before his day is done, and I think Chanderpaul is going to want to face as many of those as possible. The class we've seen from Buttar.
Pulled into the leg side, work to be done, and won't get there. This is what he's been waiting for. Anything short, anything straight, he can pounce on, and does it yet again.
There you go. I said he's got 14 left, and he wants to see them all. Well, he got 4 off of that one. tremendous. Split the fielders just about perfectly. That was great placement. You saw him just pivot his body. Basically just guide that, redirect that to the boundary. One ball left in the over.
Yeah, and the intent also from Chanderpaul, you see him move all the way across his stumps there. He's creating that angle for himself, daring Buttar to push it out wider. That time stayed home. He's gone very straight. Just be one down the ground to close out the 7th over. A wicket in it. And at the end of 7, the score reads 45 for 2.
Even the best in the business needs a strategic partner to help them win. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
Lumba to continue from this Shiloh Grove end of the ground, and Lumba's been good in his first couple of overs. You've seen him take over for Zaid Alam, who came in, was expensive, got hit for 11 in his first over, and since then the finger spin has really been the key to the two left-handers.
And we saw Chanderpaul score a single to end the last over, which means he's on strike here. Good news if you're Chanderpaul, just starting to heat up a little bit, finding these boundaries on the shorter deliveries from the fast bowler. Let's see how he can handle the spinner here, Lumba, who took a nice catch.
Just pushed down the ground. I was just curious to see if Chanderpaul elected to be a little bit more of a moving player at the crease. You saw him in that previous over look to come all the way across his stumps and create a straighter angle with Buttar bowling. And with Lumba, you know he's going to be back of a length. He's going to be quicker through the air, not trying to turn the ball. You just thought maybe he could move across his stumps and open up the onside, but now it'll be on Kevin Stout. Finally one flighted up, but just one from it. And Nate, again, we saw that 50 from Kevin Stout, but it came, you know, it took some time for him to get going. Chasing 174, he's going to need to get a move on.
Yeah, not sure how much of a choice he had playing at that speed, but right now the situation calls for a faster scoring rate.
Able to get that one in the gap, but yeah, this isn't going to do for the Fort Lauderdale Lions. At some point, you're going to have to pick a bowler to tee off of, and you mentioned you still have the 2 overs left of Jaskran Buttar. Zaid Alam has 3 overs left, and he was uncharacteristically expensive early. You don't expect him to, you know, do that again. Jerome Davis is going to bowl. Obis Pinar, you mentioned. So where are you going to find those big overs? You got to pick a couple of bowlers to do it, because right now you're just starting to fizzle out.
Well, we've had 4 overs with boundaries, but we still haven't only had one with more than 9 runs, which means Baltimore's done a great job bowling in those overs where they have given up boundaries. They've recovered.
This could be close. Now it looks like he got home in the end. Yeah, finger stays. Not sure actually. I think he actually goes out. Yeah, not even close this one. Yeah, it was just more of a subtle acknowledgement there from square leg, and Chanderpaul and Kevin Stout are gonna have a little bit of a word, and these 2 umpires are now having a word as well. Just confused on what the decision is here. They're worried about the gloves knocking the stumps. No, not out. So interesting here. The Royals were convinced. Even Stout looked concerned at the striker's end. Really interesting turn of events here.
Yeah, I'd like to see that on replay. I think the second motion from the wicketkeeper might have put the first motion in doubt, because it looked like he Looked like he took the bails off. And let's see here. Trying to force it.
And again, just when did the bails come off? Yeah, right there.
Oh,
Actually,
yeah,
really
that's
good.
a great call.
Really great call.
That's a terrific call.
Yeah, you saw Had Malik as he tried to collect it, knocked the bails off, and then hit the stumps. You got to lift them off the ground. So really well done there. And a dot ball, it'll be a single. It'll be to close out the 8th over, 51 for 2. Well, we took that little over break, but seems like it might have been premature. We're getting word that there's another delivery in the over. It's been really a tough day at the office all the way around in terms of the scoring has gone in and out, and it's been Bobberberg who's controlled everything. He's kept everything together, and it's things like this that he's done. He's created that little covering up on there, and now look at that. Look at the animation as 174 comes on. Bobber's been working on that for a couple of overs, and again, as we're just working around some of the mistakes that are happening all around, Bobberberg has kept everything together.
Yeah, we were talking about what font to use. I was recommending the curliest, weirdest thing you could find. You know, just have a little bit of fun there, but we might change it. We'll try to get Bobber to change it quite often. You guys can vote which font you like better.
Yeah, there you go. Message us and tell us which font you want to see on there. Bobberberg is getting it all to happen. But again, you see that there, chasing 174. That is the official score there, and there you go, right here. Can't really see him in the tent, but pointing at him right now. And the ball gets played away there, all happening out in the middle. That was the close officially of the 8th over. It's 51 for 2.
It's an impossible shot.
Sometimes creativity and innovation are all it takes to achieve the impossible. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
$50 for 2 after 9 and
After 8?
After 8 rather, and now finally into the 9th over after a couple of confusions going on. And Sterone Davis, Nate, this is the man that you love to see in the field. We saw him with the bat for the first time this weekend. Now get to see him with the ball.
Yeah, happy to see him getting the ball at this point. This is a big wicket. If Baltimore wants to make it easier on themselves, they got to get Chanderpaul out of the middle.
Pushing for 2 here. This was hit with soft hands. Sends him back, probably wisely in the end. Good here from the Baltimore Royals, and it's really been the difference of this between Fort Lauderdale and Baltimore that I think has been the difference in the margins. It's Fort Lauderdale's sloppiness in the field, turning 1s to 2s, and Baltimore quick in the field, keeping those 2s to just 1s.
And we see it in the scoreboard with after 8 overs. Fort Lauderdale has only scored more than 7 runs in an over 2 times, one of them for 9 and one of them for 11. That's just not going to cut it.
Sterone Davis went wicketless yesterday and was a touch unlucky and ended up being expensive, you know, unlike what we are accustomed to seeing from him. And you just have to have a think, is he the man that the lines are going to attack? This was the end that the spinners did like to operate in. Again, had a word with Adam Kahn earlier today, and he said from that south end, that Cedar Fork end of the ground, he feels like he has a little bit more control and the ball is consistently turning there. a little bit more inconsistencies bowling from the northern end. The spinners have liked operating on this side of the ground, and you can see already causing some problems. Just another one. Again, the Royals won't mind this, Nate. This is what they hope to happen on every single delivery.
Yeah, so who do you think has to decide to be the aggressor here? Do you think it's going to be Stout or Chanderpaul? Who do you think has to take on this role? Because they've only had 4 4s and a 6 so far, and they've only gone over 9 runs once.
It's got to be Chanderpaul for me. He's the more experienced batter. He's the man who comes with the high pedigree, the captain. He's opening the batting, and we've seen him play some really nice shots around the ground throughout the weekend. He just has to find it a little bit more consistently. Stout, you know what you're getting with Kevin Stout. His history in minor league, strikes it, at 94. So he's someone who plays a single-double game. Okay, let him do that. Chanderpaul has to be the one to find the boundaries. And this one played into the offside. And again, I don't think the Royals are going to give up much with the ball. They haven't been off their line and lengths. You're going to have to create that doubt in the bowler's mind. But another quiet over goes. 9 gone, 54 for 2. As the Royals are chasing 174.
Even the best in the business needs a strategic partner to help them win. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
Nuno Vricker, change of ends for him. And has he stumped himself? How about this? Somehow that's castled onto stumps. Looking to be innovative, Kevin Stout. Instead, all he could do was find his bail to come off his own stumps, and Stout has to depart.
Oof, that's hard luck. And this is maybe Stout playing outside of his own tendencies here. As you mentioned before, if you look at his record, he goes singles and doubles mostly, and 1s and 2s, and boom, he just knocked, actually that looked like the ball went on. That's just terrible luck. That's just really bad luck.
Well, when it's not going your way, it's just not going your way, and that'll close out his day. For just 5 runs, it's 54 for 3. So wicket goes, and Nate, I think that's really a culmination of the fact that Kevin Stout felt that he had to be the aggressor, and he's playing, like you said, outside of his own self, and against a shot that he's not accustomed to playing. And you just think that at the other end, there's got to be more incentive to score.
Yeah, I think Chanderpaul needs to maybe trust his teammates a little bit more. Instead of feeling like he clearly feels like he has to be there the entire innings, which, yeah, I mean, we've said that would be very helpful to the team. But you also have to score faster than you're scoring right now, and I think that's a little bit more when you're in the middle with a partner who can kind of bear that role of the responsible person who's going to keep his wicket. I think then you have to be, as the experienced batter, you have to be the one that says, okay, now I have to put my foot on the gas a little bit.
I think back to yesterday with how Mario Ramprasad and Mohib Siddiqui played. They were they're very active with their feet on the crease, moving around, making the bowlers have to change their line and lengths late, and taking advantage of any stray deliveries. And for Chanderpaul, he's just been happy to tuck it around for one, and hope that the runs come from the other end. At some point, you've got to turn it on to yourself and be the one to bring on those boundaries and at least show the intent of trying to do that, right? I think that's one thing. If you swing, you miss, but the intent behind it has to be there. And the flighted delivery from Navrekar is just no run available, as it's going to be Brian Gale who walks into the middle.
I like this from Navrekar. Ask the question early.
Again, flight on the ball, but just one down the ground. And now again, this is the question. Tajnaran Chanderpaul, he's been there for 25 deliveries. He's been there since the very beginning. How does he look to attack? Or is he going to be happy just to tuck one into the mid-wicket region of the ground?
And this is sensible, confident bowling here from Navrekar. He saw Stout moving. He knew what he was trying to do. He pushed the ball out wider and created that wicket with the first ball, and then he's flighted it two straight deliveries to the new batter.
Wicket to square, single to square leg. No second run on offer. Again, you can just see him trying to push for two, but at some point the push has to come with the bat swing. It has to come with your scoring options. You're chasing 174. It's the biggest target of the day. Wickets in hand are important, but the reason Baltimore propelled themselves was the ability from Kunwarjit Singh to use his feet, get to the pitch of the ball, and find a boundary almost every single over. And Navrekar has just been allowed to come in, bowl his over, and walk it off to close what's going to be a really, really phenomenal over here for the Royals.
Yeah, great bowling here from Navrekar throughout.
No run available. Gale's going to feel that he's missed out on the wide one. Just 2 runs and the wicket coming from this over. This is game slipping past the Fort Lauderdale Lions. It's 56 for 3.
It's an impossible shot.
Sometimes creativity and innovation are all it takes to achieve the impossible. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
Daron Davis with the ball. Chanderpaul here again, very content to just find one, Nate. What do you make of it?
Well, somebody has to do something here. Somebody has to get it going. We have only 56 runs after 57 runs now after 10 overs. The game is quickly falling out of reach. We're at a 13 run rate required right now.
And you'd imagine that it would have been Chanderpaul taking on the left arm spinner with the ball spinning back into him. That's the matchup you like. Daron Davis will be happy facing the right-handed batter, getting the ball to turn away.
And I feel like after those 2 flighted deliveries to Brian Gale, the first 2 that he saw, when he got back on strike in that last over, I felt like, he needed to take some chances there. We ended with 2 dots instead.
There's your chance that you were looking for, but all he could find was that short mid-wicket fielder.
Every time the ball is struck well at a fielder on the Baltimore team, you hold your breath for a second.
Good bowling this from Davis. Pulled that length slightly back and just kept Brian Gale at bay. And now the dots are starting to castle on top of each other. That's 3 in a row. And Brian Gale's got to find a way to at least rotate strike alongside Chanderpaul. The ones will be fine if you can collectively do it, but right now unable to. This one hit into the onside. They'll get that single that they're looking for, but after all that, you're 5 balls into this over, and you've only picked up 2 runs. Field shifts now for Chanderpaul. Deep backward square, deep mid-wicket, long on, long off, and a deep cover. Again, the use of the feet to just get 1. Not the situation for it. It'll just be a 3-run over for Daron Davis. 11 gone, 59 for 3.
Even the best in the business needs a strategic partner to help them win. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
We knew it was imminent, the return of Zaid Alam. Again, uncharacteristically expensive, but this young man is impressed in this short stint in minor league, and he's back in with pace on the ball from the same end. There's the intent you were looking for. It seems like this is the over, and this is the man that Chanderpaul has been waiting for. He's waiting for pace back on the ball. And with fine leg inside the ring, a pretty safe option, just unable to execute.
This tells you, if you're Alam, does this tell you bowl more slower balls? Is that how you think you would counter this?
Yeah, you could slow it down. You could pull the length back even as well. Let's see how he looks to operate now. Yeah, it does look to slow it down just a little bit. But, you know, for me, the intent is just coming too late from Chanderpaul because of the fact that, okay, even if you got 4 off that, this over now, you're still well behind the 8 ball. You have to get over 10 runs every single over from here. You've just kind of walked yourself into this situation. The overs before this, you've gone 5, 4, 2, 3. You haven't been pushing this run rate, even with the singles.
We haven't had a 10-run over since the second.
He gets this one away. It'll just be 1.
Whoa, excellent effort there.
But it'll be a no ball. So to get a chance at a free hit, Zaid Alam has just overstepped. And so Brian Gale will get an opportunity to free his hands. And this could be the moment that changes this match. Could this be what sets up Brian Gale for the rest of the innings?
Well, if this doesn't give you permission to go big, then nothing will. I think that, as you said, this could free up Brian Gale. This could, if he connects here, goes big for 6. You just don't want to get yourself in a situation, if you're Fort Lauderdale, where you've only scored 2 runs going into the last ball of the over, and now the best you can hope for is 8 runs with a 6 at the end of it. So this gives them a chance to get a boundary earlier in the over.
Field change here, long on, deep mid wicket, and a deep backward square. Third man and fine leg all inside the ring. Full straight, carved away, and it will get to the rope. It was well adjusted there from Brian Gale. Really just good cricket all in all. Decent delivery, but Brian Gale able to get 4.
Yeah, just barely able to get 4 there. Boom. Yeah, opens the face, just beats the fielder, and we were inches away from that being a dot ball, basically.
Yeah, and I think I go back to your point about not wanting to let it get to the second to last delivery of the over where you only have 3 runs. I think of Obis Pinar last night. What did he do so well? The boundary early, and then could just get 1 around the ground, and it would be just fine because just 7 runs. There's 5 runs built in to the over. Use of the feet now, and you can see Brian Gale now. That free hit has opened him up. The messages come in that they need to play with more intent, but now you're forced to play with that intent, and there's a lot more pressure to score off every delivery.
Yeah, there's loads of pressure. Back to your point about Obis and the Baltimore team yesterday, they did get those boundaries early, and if you look at the amount of boundaries they had, they didn't pile them on, but they got them early in the over, and that allowed them to put together 11, 12 run overs just off of 1s and 2s from there. Right now we're in a situation where all these dots are just drowning this team.
Again, just 1 out to long on, but this over looks much better with that 4. You had the 1 extra in there as well. But at some point, there's something has to give a little bit more for Chanderpaul now. Brian Gale has shown it. He's freed his arms. He's looking to swing big. Now if you're Chanderpaul, yes, we've seen you try to play that reverse. They've sent fine leg back because of it. Where else can you find runs?
I think you got to move your feet. If you're Chanderpaul, you got to, like you said, find runs, make new angles, maybe come down the wicket, try to drive it straight over his head.
Looks to go over cover. We'll just find one. It's a good delivery. Firmalam not giving him much width. The 12th over goes, the best over in quite some time, but just 8 runs for it for the Fort Lauderdale Lions, 67 for 3.
It's an impossible shot.
Sometimes creativity and innovation are all it takes to achieve the impossible. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
Daron Davis will have the ball, and this has just come to a screeching halt for the Fort Lauderdale Lions after this quick start. Haven't found runs. Could this be a moment? It will be. Dajaran Chanderpaul has finally taken on the left arm spinner and takes him all the way for 6.
And that was magnificent 6. That was terrific. This is what we've needed for a while from Dajaran, as we've the last over went for 8, and that was the most since the 5th over. But yeah, there was no mistaking that one. I think for his sake, hopefully that lights a fire on him. He knows this is going to have to be a big over. Now, if you can convert 20 runs in this over, 20 plus runs in this over, you pull the game into a reasonable chase. I mean, not reasonable, but you have a chance.
Yeah, but you still need over 14 and over. That's the problem with how late they've set this chase up to, because of the fact that, again, it's that stretch where you got just 14 runs from 4 combined overs, and now you need 14 every single over. So that 6 has to be the first of many. Calls for 2, but they'll just get the 1 off the bat. And again, does Brian Gale have a way to score now too? Because again, you can't run yourself to this total anymore. You have to find boundaries, and really it's 2 boundaries and over.
You need that. You need that, absolutely. And so if you're Gale here, I think you want to on this first ball, you want to try to get Chanderpaul back on strike, give him 3 more balls in the over. I think if you fail to do that here with this ball, maybe then you take it on yourself.
It was there to hit. I can't blame the intent from Brian Gale. It was there to be had. It was sliding down the leg stump. Should have really been taken away. And now the pressure's on him to find this boundary.
If you save the boundaries late in the over, it makes... Oh!
What a catch. Daron Davis doesn't flinch. It was hit straight back at him very firmly. And Daron Davis has the safest pair of hands you'll ever see and takes that one with ease.
There are a lot of people where you might call that self-defense. Boom. You might call that self-defense. If I'm taking that catch, that's self-defense. Daron Davis, that's just another Sunday.
It's another day at the office as Brian Gale goes for just 7 runs, and the Fort Lauderdale Lions are running out of options and time. 74 for 4. Well, Clinton Pestano comes into the middle, and a lot of work to be done, and he doesn't have time to get in. He's got 2 deliveries in this over, and the Fort Lauderdale Lions need a boundary and then some.
There's absolutely no question what he has to do here. He has to score quickly. They still basically need 100 runs to win. From this point, that is a big ask.
Find one, and now here's a question for Thajnarayan Chanderpaul. Oh, could have been close actually. Here's a question for Thajnarayan Chanderpaul. All right, do I take my single to keep myself on strike, or because I need another 6, I need to get to 14, does he clean house?
This is exactly why you can't wait this late in the over to score your boundaries, because you have to answer that question now. Do I just continue on strike and take a single here, or do I go big? This has happened several times to them in the last several overs.
And it will just be that single to hold on to strike. Their best over in quite some time. They get 9 runs from it, but they need a lot more to go. 76 for 4.
Even the best in the business needs a strategic partner to help them win. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
Well, if you're new to the game today, to this particular game, there's a big chase underhand. It's a mountain ahead of this batting team right now. But if you've been following along, you might be wondering if one of our commentators is in the hospital right now after that little spell that you had there right at the end.
Well, Nate, it's very windy, and so I think a piece of grass just flew straight into my mouth as I'm saying a word. And I tried to power through. I tried, that's what they teach you in sports. You got to power through.
Yeah, power through. Well,
and it just didn't come off, as this one will get hit for a single. It's Sharad Lumba into the attack. And speaking of not coming off, Nate, this chase just hasn't done that.
Well, when you make the decision that you need the single to keep the strike, and then you go with another single to start the next over, there's some choking. There's more than you're not the only person choking right now. Come on.
Yeah, again, this is a chase that's gotten out of hand, and really it comes down to the intent. We've talked about the little things on other days that's killed the Fort Lauderdale Lions. They were in every game. In this one, they've let themselves get away. Again, they weren't the greatest in the field, but to me, it's the intent with the bat that's caused this one.
Yeah, and all the extras that they had in the first innings, they made a lot of mistakes that first inning. We said they had to do the little things right. They haven't done the little things right. They haven't had the right intentions.
Maneuvered into the onside. I think about that previous delivery. Very pushed out wide, but that's a short ball that's wide that should be hit away. Instead, you can't find runs. But Pastano, he's just getting in, and he got a good swing on that delivery. I look at the captain here. I look at Thajnarayan Chanderpaul. He's so experienced. He's played so much cricket all around the world. He's got to use that to his advantage here, and got to find ways to score. Lead from the front. Again, he's using the feet, but he's only picking fielders. Sharad Lumba is going to be quick, going to be back of a length. You're not going to get to the pitch of the ball, and you're only going to give yourself the opportunity to score 1. Instead, to Lumba, you think you'd rather set yourself deep in your crease and set up for that short ball.
Yeah, I think so. Oh, that one gets right through the keeper.
Just misses him, and it'll go all the way for 4. The use of the feet just undid Ahad Malik. I think there was a little bit of bat on it. No buys or signals, so maybe a slight outside edge as well. And gets 4.
Well, they'll need that. They have one more ball here. And I think this is good. This is good that you've got Pastano on strike right now. No question in your mind now about trying to keep strike next over. Go for it. Swing out of your shoes a little bit. It's time to get a move on it.
Sets up for it, but is only going to find 1, so will retain strike. A boundary in the over, but not the over they're looking for. Just 8 from it. 14 gone, 84 for 4. interesting conversation here, Nate, that we were just having, that, you know, we felt in this game that it is the Fort Lauderdale Lions who have let themselves down a little bit, but you have to give some credit to the Baltimore Royals in their process here.
Yeah, they just haven't really been challenged, and why change what's working? If you know a certain ball is only going to get one run from a particular batter, you just keep going with that ball. We've seen that from Navarkar, how he's approached the different batters. We've seen it from Lumba, and obviously we've seen it from Buttar, who he might not be bowling again in a situation that's crucial, because the game is slipping away so quickly from Fort Lauderdale. They might not even need Buttar's class to finish this thing out.
Well, they'll give the ball back to him, and I think of Lumban in particular, taking off Alam and then bringing himself on, bowling back of length and quick. That was the one thing for me that really set Baltimore apart. It was an aggressive change because they understood what was happening, versus the Fort Lauderdale Lions in the first innings could have brought on Adam Khan earlier. Instead, they kept trying to say matchup-wise this makes more sense, and it cost them probably about 20 runs as Buttar runs in. And again, the intent here from Pastano straight away is correct. He's looking to hit the short wide one away. Buttar's he's a very classy cricketer.
Yeah, and when he gets that bounce, it comes up pretty quick. Comes up on an angle that's difficult. I think that's what the height gives him. He's got the pace and the height. He's got swing. He's got the knowledge, the nous. He put them all together. He's a really good bowler. And I think, as you said before, all the things that you said at the fault of Fort Lauderdale, I think it all just comes down to a negative mindset, a negative approach to the game. And they need to really change that.
Bat on it, but again, that heavy ball, it's hard to hit Jaskran Buttar and hard to take him around the park for runs. And again, that's why it was just concerning when Navrekar is bowling, when Sharan Lumba is bowling. You know, you don't decide to take them on. Well, who are you going to take on? We thought Obis might get a chance with the ball. Doesn't seem like they'll need Obis Punar. They haven't forced this Baltimore Royals team without Sarvjit Ladda to go deep into that bowling bag, Nate.
And now you need 20. You need a couple of 20 run overs. You need 2 or 3 of them, and you've got to face Buttar 2 times. This is you're not going to get them there probably.
Yeah, Buttar, Alam. You know, you have to face another over of Jerome Davis, I believe, as well. So there's so many great bowlers in this unit. You have to get rid of your quote-unquote part-timers or your non-traditional bowlers, your Lumbas, your Navrekars. You have to take them for runs. Otherwise, it's going to be a long day.
Yeah, we've seen very defensive thinking from Fort Lauderdale on both sides of the ball, and I think it's costing them. It's costed them this game, I think.
Slower one, put straight down the ground. Long off was inside the rink, and it ended up being 4 runs. So Chanderpaul able to find a way to get a boundary there, and he's pushing closer to that 50 mark.
Yeah, you would have never known that this innings started, that the first inning started with the loss immediately of Obis Pinar. You would have thought that would have given Fort Lauderdale a great boost to restrict, and then given them some confidence to carry on. But things change in cricket. One ball is just one ball. Things change quickly.
Yeah, and again, it was that lack of a negative mindset, that growth mindset that kept them in the game. Nowhere for Chanderpaul to go. He was searching for a little bit of a wide. And again, the intent on that, I was actually okay with. You saw him move across his stumps. He's trying to change the angle. It was just Buttar was following him all the way around.
Yeah, that's a special skill to be able to do that. We talked yesterday a little bit about how Saurabh Netravalkar is very good at that. USA's star fast bowler. That's a very good skill to have in this format of cricket.
This one going to be a wide down the leg side, but that's the ball that you've missed out on if you're Chanderpaul, because it's straight, it's short. He's put those away for runs. Yes, you're gifted a wide, but you need well more than that one run, that one free run.
Absolutely. You'll take it though. You'll take it. But now you've got to go. You got to score a boundary here. You need You want to get some runs off these next 2 balls for certain. You got 6 in the over now. You got a chance to convert this into a good over.
Helped towards fine leg. It'll just be 1 run yet again. And again, these boundaries aren't coming. And Nate, you hate to say this with still 5 overs to go, but this game feels like the Lions are just playing for their net run rate now. Again, this shorter competition, just 8 matches. It is going to come down to that at some point. But you've got to get wins on the board for it to matter.
You need wins. You don't want 3 losses in your first weekend when you're as good as Fort Lauderdale is. We mentioned before, on paper, they look as good as anybody. They look like they could beat anybody in this division. Well, you don't want to be playing for run rate right now.
Edge through. Fingers stayed down. Pestano was not walking, and now he's given very, very late. Pestano doesn't like it. I want to take a second look at this. Both Buttar and Malik were convinced, but Pestano can't quite believe it. You can see a shrug of the hands. But in the end, Pestano has to go.
What do you think there, Owen?
I think it might have brushed the shirt, Nate. I don't know. It was close. I think the reaction from Pestano straight away is an indication, but he's been given out there. The umpire again has the best look of it. It's the end of the 15th over. It's 91 for 5. Mohib Siddiqui is the new batter, as Tajnaran Chanderpaul will be at the striker's end. And Siddiqui, he showed good intent yesterday, and it feels a little too late, but I'm interested to see his approach now. Chanderpaul just finds one into leg side, and Nunavrekar, to his credit, and to your point, Nate, has just been, he's seen that the intent really hasn't been there, and so he's just said, okay, I'll just keep bowling the same delivery until you try to do something different.
Yeah, I think he's been clever. He's been smart. There was question about how deep this bowling attack would be with the injuries they've had, and Narvakar came in and said, I'm just going to do what I need to do and get my full quota.
You see that from Siddiqui straight away. What did he do on that delivery? It was a dot, but what he did, he moved across his stumps, and that forced Navrekar to push it in closer to him rather than be wider. So this is something that could have been done earlier. Use of the feet. Again, there's no runs that he's gotten off those first 2 deliveries, but already in 2 balls, he's shown great intent.
Yeah, and it might be making Narvakar think a little bit about what he's going to do with his next delivery. He has to do something different.
And there you go. Heaved into the onside. It'll just be straight to the fielder. But I really can't blame Mohib Siddiqui. Yes, he's thrown it away just off 3 deliveries, but the intent straight away is what was required. This time just didn't come off.
He had absolutely no choice. In order to be a good team player now here for this team, he had to do this. It was smart for Narvakar to go back to the flight delivery. We know he likes to do that, and it was just excellent bowling by Narvakar. We talk a lot about how batters have to play the ball to their merit. They basically take what's given to you. Bowlers have to do the same thing, and Narvakar has really exemplified take what's given to you.
There you go. The 6th wicket goes down for Fort Lauderdale, 92 for 6. Achilles Brown in with the bat. He's been, higher up the order in previous matches, but here he'll be in this position. And again, it doesn't really have a choice on what he wants to do. He's gonna have to play a role of a hitter and a finisher. Gets off the mark straight away, and just the one there. So again, it looks like Fort Lauderdale is just going to come to a screeching halt as we get closer to the conclusion of this match. And Nate, they're going to go 0 for 3 on the weekend, and they're really going to have themselves to blame only.
Yeah, do you flight it here? Last ball of the over. Do you flight it here to Chanderpaul and say, okay, hit it for 6, but you're not on strike next over? Nope.
They're going to push for 2. This will be tight. And Achilles Brown probably rightfully says no. Not the time for 2 runs. 16 gone, 94 for 6.
It's an impossible shot.
Sometimes creativity and innovation are all it takes to achieve the impossible. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
A change of ends for Muhammad Alam. And Nate, one little thing I love about you was to close that final over. Could easily just been talking about how they're going to come to a screeching halt, and you were aggressive in your mindset. You said, does Enrique look to flight it up, trying to see if he'll swing for a 6 and try to take Dudge off strike in the next over. Again, I just love the intent and the aggressive mindset Nate Hayes has. The Lions could use some of that, as they'll just be 1 into the offside.
Well, Numbercard did the sensible thing. He's got good figures. Why ruin them? But yeah, I love the flighted delivery. Try to get that 6, but the guts of flighting one up to a guy like Chanderpaul when he in trying to get him to get out caught on the short side of the ground. You got to give someone credit if they go for that.
Yeah, it would have been a real gutsy move had he done it. For Achilles Brown, this is a real opportunity to be in the middle, to show off the run scoring now. This required run rate is well above 17, so I need a lot of work. And I'm just curious to see the approach of Achilles Brown. This is another situation that can kind of make a young player. I think of Abiram Bolasetti and the way he's transformed his game, how he's come in towards the end as a pinch hitter, and he won a game for the Raptors. This game feels unwinnable, but if you do something where you bring it close, right? You just create a name for yourself, and he's been in and out of the lineup. He can just kind of cement his spot as a batter.
Well, as I said, he's kind of a jack of all trades too. We've seen him bowl, we've seen him keep. I want to see him smash one over this sight screen right now.
In the air, fielder in place, and he'll put it down. Haven't seen a lot of that from the Baltimore Royals, and even then, direct hit. How about this? Now they'll scamper 2. Could they come back for 3? No. Now they'll scamper 2. Nate, I just want to touch on this. That ball was in the air for a long time, and it got dropped, and the throw was late, and they only took 1.
Right.
Take a look at this, though. You like the intent, and you mentioned catch with your feet.
Yeah, not really under that ball. I think people struggle a little bit with that slope. It feels a lot bigger than it is when you're looking straight up in the air. But your point there, why not run 2 when the ball's up in the air, and then you can get a 3rd off of the overthrow? If you're not going to run the 2, I guess it's to keep Chanderpaul on strike. But why would you scamper yourself into an almost run out then immediately after? It doesn't seem sensible to me.
Wide there. No, but I think you're absolutely right. Again, it's that they're missing, that little gear, that little mindset of being aggressive, being positive, that we saw the Royals pushing every single time and able to take advantage of misfields. That turned into a misfield that led to the number of runs you should have had, versus the fact that you could have added 3, and instead of being out, you've picked up 3 runs. not going to matter in this game, but those little differences change outcomes. This one just played to fine leg, but the intent there is good from Achilles Brown. You can't fault what he's trying to do. He's trying to play big. You've seen him be innovative. Just hasn't come off yet for the young man.
No, you like it. I mean, there's nothing to lose right now. Go for it. Go big. Relax. Try to smash the ball all over the place. Wake Kyle up there. Wake him up with another monster.
Well, for those of you who don't know what Nate Hayes is referring to, John Campbell sent one straight to our cameraman, Kyle Lobenhofer, out there in the deep. Kyle said he's ready. He's going to take a catch if it comes up there this time. As a slower one undoes Achilles Brown. And what he said is, he says, I want a souvenir. I said, well, buddy, I know it's your second cricket match, but one thing you got to know is that there are no souvenirs with the ball. Once the ball is hit in there, you got to throw that ball back.
Yeah, but he's in a position where he could catch it, fake like he dropped it behind him. Oh, I'm lost forever at that point. If it goes back there, you got to go to the ball box. And I think, just slide it in your pocket, pretend like you dropped it. I think he can make it happen. Kyle, I hope you're listening. I hope you're taking notes. I want to see you pull this off.
He's listening.
You can hear him through the headsets here, and so that's the beautiful thing about these wireless headsets. They pick up all kinds of noise, and the camera crew is getting to hear the comms. You see third man come inside the ring now, so you expect this to be either slowed down or right on the toes. Slow and on the toes. How about that? Both. Why not have one? Have both. 17 gone, 98 for 6.
Even the best in the business needs a strategic partner to help them win. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
Jessica and Buttar to continue, and again, the Royals are just trying to get to the end of this match. They've controlled proceedings for, you would say, 39.5 overs. Huh, Nate? That first ball went the Fort Lauderdale Lions' way, and ever since then, the Baltimore Royals have brought things back.
Well, Fort Lauderdale started off with 18 runs in the first 2 overs of this chase, 11 runs in the second over. They haven't passed 9 runs in an over since then. They've only gotten 9 runs twice since then. This is unacceptable for a chase.
Yeah, again, it's not the fact that you just didn't score the runs. It's the intent behind those runs. They took on those first 2 overs. Raja gets out, and then the scoring halts. Pulled, but nowhere to go. Again, a heavy ball that Buttar bowls. It was a lovely sound off the bat, but straight to mid-wicket. And again, I think there needs to be some inward reflection on the part of the Lions, on the part of Tajin Chanderpaul. What's the intent in which you're going into bat with? What's the approach we need to be taking when we bat? Because you've lost 3 games. Doesn't feel like you have much room to lose anymore.
And Aman, you look at this team. Do you think that this Fort Lauderdale team is talented?
Absolutely.
Then it's attitude.
Yeah, 100%. I think at the end of the day, they're going to push for 2, but no, they'll just get 1. At the end of the day, I think of that "Remember the Titans" quote, and it says, "Attitude reflects leadership, captain." And I just think about this innings, and it's reflected the captain almost. Again, Tajin Chanderpaul, he's a talented cricketer. Seems like a very well-rounded individual and very fun person to be around. He just hasn't had the right mindset today in this particular innings. He's batted long ways, and you know what? We've missed Tajin Chanderpaul's 50. He's gone to 51, but it's been really a 50 that you wouldn't say means much in the context of the game.
No, it's fairly forgettable, and that's tough. It's tough to talk like that about a player who scores a 50, about a player of his ability, but we've needed more.
This one won't pierce the gap, and they'll get the single, but Yeah, again, I just think that there was a chance for Chanderpaul to be way more aggressive, have more intent in the way he bats. And the reason I think we're saying this, Nate, is because we know Thajran Chanderpaul has the ability to do it. He is that kind of a cricketer. He can be very aggressive and can score. He just hasn't shown it today.
And not just that, but it reflects maybe a lack of trust in your teammates, I think. And that is an attitude issue. As we said, we think this is a good team, and we just think they need to tweak a couple things attitude-wise.
Misses the slower one that time. And again, I think in the first 2 games, those are self-inflicted wounds in terms of execution, right? You've misplay in the field, drops galore, and those things come back to bite you in close games. This one, yes, you had the drops. I thought the fielding was probably a lot better in this game than we've seen. But with the bat, they started off strong, 174. Doesn't seem like this wicket's breaking up. It just seems like this was a game where the Lions let it, just never wanted to take it to the Royals.
Now, and Lance and his crew have done a great job here with this wicket. This wicket's held up wonderfully this weekend. It's wonderful to see a good wicket like this at Church Street Park.
Just the one run out into the leg side, and again, it is just coming to a screeching halt, and we're just 2 overs away from the end of this matchup. And the Royals have only lost 1 game this season. The Raptors only lost a game. The Atlanta Lightning have been in a lot of their games as well. They've lost a couple, and the Atlanta Fire have lost a couple as well. So for the Fort Lauderdale Lions, even then, they're still well behind the 8 ball. No one's lost 3. And to be in the playoffs, you've got to be, I think 3 is the most you can lose. Straight to cover. Quick single. They'll get it in the end, and they'll close out the 18th over. Just 4 runs from it. 102 for 6.
It's an impossible shot.
Sometimes creativity and innovation are all it takes to achieve the impossible. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
Well, Nate, we were just mentioning that south table, and here it is right now. The Marshall Raptors have played 4 games. They've won 3, lost 1. They have 6 points to their name. The Baltimore Royals, they've, in that same time span, they're the same record. They'll move to first place after this win with 8 points in their 5 matches. The Atlanta Fire and Lightning are both tied with 2 losses in 3 matches at 2 points apop. And right now, the Orlando Galaxy will move into 5th because of the fact that, you see, they haven't played a single game, and they'll sit on 0 points, and the Lions, with their 3, will still be at 0 points to their name. The Lions, after last year, barely missing out on the playoffs, would have thought they'd have been much closer this season with a talented roster. Instead, they're right back at the bottom of the table.
Well, the Raptors, there's a single right there over to the offside, into the covers. Well, the Raptors have surprised everyone, not just by being in first place, but they have a really good net run rate right now, advantage of 0.6034. Nobody else in the division has that. Now that you could, that can slip away pretty easily. But I think that that's a really good positive that they have that record, whereas the Royals right now, they're about to get a major boost in that regard after this game, and I think that they'll climb into first place after this.
Hit away. Fielder does well. Keeps it to just 1. Aryan Batra is the man with the ball in hand. Of course, Batra, part of that USA Under-19 squad that went to the World Cup. And, he's one of the more talented young bowlers that you have in terms of the pace department. Bowls a lot of the cutters and the slower ones. And was surprised not to see him feature more often this weekend in their 2 matches. This is his first over of the weekend. So they've, underutilized him, you'd say. But usually a mainstay in this bowling lineup. This one is picked up, but hit straight to the fielder. First over, first wicket for Aryan Batra. And Achilles Brown, he tried to go big, has to go.
Yeah, he's targeting the shorter side of the ground, but that particular corner is is always a tough one to clear. Something about it. But good stuff. It's good to see Batra in the attack. As you mentioned, USA U19. And there you go. What a way to start the season for Batra, finally.
And picks up his first wicket here at Church Street Park, 104 for 7. Butler to continue. Bowled him straight away, 2-2. Ryan Prasad walks in and has to walk out. Butler's got his man.
Well, Prasad, that's his first time with the bat this weekend, Ryan. And what a delivery there from Batra. This is the class that we can expect from this young man with a bright future. Getting some hugs from his teammates right now. It's always good to see these U19 players perform. But here you go. Looked like it kissed his pad a little bit there too.
Yeah, that angle undid Ryan Prasad. Has a golden duck, and now we're on a hat trick. It's 104 for 8. Well, Adam Khan comes in. It'll be his first time with the bat. He's been so good with the ball, Nate, but now he's got to fend off a hat trick.
Another youth versus youth matchup. We needed like a siren or something that goes off every time this happens. We saw it the other day with Abraham Bolasetti versus Adam Khan. Now we see Adam Khan batting against Batra. Who do you want to win this?
Well, Adam Khan, you say, won the battle by getting the dot ball out of the way, but Butler's been good. Again, limited opportunities this weekend, bowled quite a bit last weekend on tougher conditions for the batters. This weekend has been all about Butad and Alam, but now they're giving him the ball, and he's proving why he should be bowling in every game. And now the captain says, you know what, get out mid-wicket, come over here, join me at second slip.
And by the way, he averted the hat trick there.
Does well yet again to just avert the hat trick. And again, this is a net run rate play. The Lions hoping to finish 20 overs. 19 gone, 104 for 8.
Even the best in the business needs a strategic partner to help them win. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
Yevon Gutenalaik, he's the man with the ball in hand. The young leg spinner will come in. No way he can lose the game, and the captain said, why not? Give the young man a chance to roll his arm. It'll be his first game of the season, and he's operating with a slip in place to Tajanaran Chanderpaul.
So you're in under 19. You're coming in the 20th over against Chanderpaul.
Straight, and it'll be 6 runs. It'll be too late for Tajanaran Chanderpaul, but he's able to get one out of the screws.
Yeah, this is tough stuff for Yevon. I don't care if you're ahead by this much. Coming in the 20th over, you got Chanderpaul batting. His onside is the short side. You're a leg spinner. This is not easy. This is not easy stuff. Yevon, we feel for you. Let's see how you respond to that first 6.
Yeah, well done from the young man. Pulled the length back on that occasion. You can see decent control from him. It's exciting to see young leg spinners in the States, Nate, and we don't see a lot of them. Yasir Mohammed, of course, with the USA team. Adi Gupta here in Morrisville. Adam Khan, who's now with the bat in hand. And Yevon Gutenalaik is showing off his ability with the spin.
I'd say the South now has quite a few of them compared to the other divisions. Obviously, Yasir Mohammed is the youngster to beat in this department.
Turn on offer there. You saw it. Adam Khan more than happy to play out this innings. You can see it'll be his first opportunity with the bat this season, and he is an aggressive bat, does have the ability to play the big shot. So if Yevon does overpitch one, I expect Adam Khan to target cow corner like this, but he hasn't gotten it, and take it comfortably in the end. Adam Khan wanted it, but it's Yevon Gutenalaik who gets the last laugh and his first wicket in minor league cricket.
Well, congratulations, Yevon. Way to answer that early 6. You hear the Baltimore team cheering as if this game is right in the balance, but this is what it does to a team. You want to keep energized even though you're slaughtering somebody, but there you go. You mentioned it. You just said Adam Khan was going to target cow corner if he got the chance. He sure did, but that's the deep side of the field right now. And yeah, you keep the team energized by having a youngster come in and do something like that. You hear everybody cheering him on. They cheered him on when Taj hit that single, actually, with the second ball of the over.
Yeah, love to see it. It's 111 for 9 now. Nate, you made a great point. You know, you saw the Royals so energized and so animated about Yevon taking a wicket. And it's got to feel good for the young man as well, right? You're boosting his confidence, and they've identified him as one of the youngsters to watch. He's got a chance to get one more. He's got a gully in place. Misses everything, that one, but turn, bounce on offer, and he's got one delivery left. Can he find his second wicket in his very first over in minor league? Same fielder in place, and same result. It's the other wicket. This one hit into the leg side, and Yevon Gutenalaik, he's got 2 wickets to close it out, and the Baltimore Royals win this one with such ease. The Fort Lauderdale Lions are bowled out for 111.
Terrific job. Thank you, Yevon, giving us something exciting to talk about at the end of this game. What a great job. Congratulations, young man, in your first overs in minor league cricket. Your first over in minor league cricket. You took 2 wickets. Look at this one. Boom. Trying to target long on, and the fielder makes a good catch there. He was a little bit unaware of where that boundary might be, but he had plenty of space, and he made sure to catch it.
Well done. The Baltimore Royals win this one emphatically. You'd have to say a bit of a lack of intent from the Fort Lauderdale Lions. Nate, before we close this weekend, any last words?
Just good weekend of cricket. Wonderful weather here at Church Street Park. I look forward to the rest of the season here. And tune in on Wednesday for Minor League Cricket Live, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. Check us out on MLC Network on YouTube.
Can't wait to see that. And again, we thank you guys for joining us all throughout this weekend. We've had an absolute blast. For myself, Aman Patel, for Nate Hayes, and for our entire production crew, Astor Media Group, led by Babar Beg. We appreciate you for joining us, and we can't wait to see you soon. Be the mold here. Help himself does Isaiah Raja. Gets one full down the leg and puts it all the way for 4. Massive hit into the air and out of the park. It'll cannon onto the sidewalk and stop up off the recycling bin. That's 6 from Isaiah Raja. A lot. Nicely played from Thajnarayan Chanderpaul. Just guided it through the covers. He'll pick up 4 runs there. How beautiful was that? Just continue to milk the Royals. This, though, is hit squared up into the air. And it won't get all the way for 4. Just be a couple of runs on very straight. Cut and through the infield. Got a hand to it, though. We'll slow. Again, on to the legs. This one's helped behind square. Work to be done from the field. They'll pick up a couple of runs. Pulled into the gap. Got too short, too straight. And Chanderpaul picks up 4 runs. And taken on the carom. Mohamed Alam nearly made a meal of it, but in the end, makes it look easy.
Isn't it? What?
It's the name of the game. This one's in the air. Falls short. Didn't quite carry out to deep third.
Up a little bit.
Big shout. I think it's angling down the leg stump. No given. Very, very late decision. I want to take a second look at this. He did move across. It will be close. But in the end, it's the end of Ravinder Prasad. First ball, Golden Duck. Pulled into the leg side. Work to be done and won't get there. This is what he's been waiting for. Anything short, anything straight he can pounce on, and does it yet again. This could be close. Now it looks like he got home in the end. Yeah, fingers. 2 umpires are now having a word as well. Just confused on what the decision is here. They're worried about the gloves knocking the stumps. No, not out. So interesting here. The breaker. Change of ends for him. And has he stumped himself? How about this? Somehow that's castled onto stumps. Looking to be innovative, Kevin Stout. Instead, all he could do was find his bail to come off his own stumps, and Stout has to depart.
Run over since the second.
He gets this one away. It'll just be 1.
The second.
He gets this one away. It'll just be 1. Full straight, carved away, and it will get to the rope. It was well adjusted there from Brian Gill. Really just good cricket all in all. The Lions, after this quick start, haven't found runs. Could this be a moment? It will be. Thajnarayan Chanderpaul has finally taken on the left arm spinner and takes him all the way for 6.
Oh!
What a catch. Jerome Davis doesn't flinch. It was hit straight back at him very firmly. And Jerome Davis has the safest pair of hands you'll ever see and takes that one with ease.
Oh, that one gets right through the keeper.
Just misses him, and it'll go all the way for 4. The use of the feet just undid Ahad Malik. I think there was a little bit of bat on it. Nope. Slower one. Put straight down the ground. Long off was inside the ring. It ended up being 4 runs.
Right now.
Edge through. Fingers stayed down. Pestano was not walking, and now he's given very, very late. Pestano doesn't like it.
But what he's going to do with his next delivery, he has to do something different.
And there you go. Heaved into the onside. It'll just be straight to the fielder. But I really can't blame Mohib Sadiq. In the air. Fielder in place. And he'll put it down. Haven't seen a lot of that from the lineup. This one is picked up, but hit straight to the fielder. First over, first wicket for Aryan Batra. And Achilles Brown, he tried to go big, has to go. Bowled him straight away, 2-2. Ryan Prasad walks in and has to walk out. Batra's got his man. Straight. And it'll be 6 runs. It'll be too late for Tajnarayan Chanderpaul, but he's able to get one out of the screws. Like this, but he hasn't gotten it. And take it comfortably in the end. Same fielder in place. And same result. It's the other wicket. This one hit into the leg side, and Yevon Guttanalayak, he's got 2 wickets to close it out. And the Baltimore Royals win this one with such ease. The Fort Lauderdale Lions are bowled out for 111.
You're watching the 2024 Minor League Cricket Championship presented by Yash Technologies.